With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams.
When you
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's going to make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, cut it.
Keeping it 100.
He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're moused up like the Jew and now and laters. Debaters, draws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. Wait, 2 fucking games?
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the up there. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we lie, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it
man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is good, TTNL family? It's Wednesday night. You in the right place to be. Of course, we got a good show for y'all tonight. We got the OTAs to talk about, a lot of the off-season program that the guys are going to get into. I love all. Thank you, Shane. We also have a special guest joining us tonight. We had our 2K contest on the Patreon side, and the winner will be joining us tonight to talk all things Bears. So without further ado, we're going to get into the show tonight and bring in the guys that you're really here to see. I love all. Smartest man, Martha. Jesus, Shane.
I'm far away. You can't beat me up, Sheree.
I can't wait till I finally see you in person. Hi, Phil.
What's up, Sheree? How are you?
I'm good.
Look how nice and shiny Phil's camera lens is.
Yeah,
So
I
fucking
cleaned
nice.
it all off.
Oh yeah.
Feels
got
like
the
it's always been
HD.
closer. I don't know.
It's those goddamn
Just a little
kids.
cleaner.
It's those goddamn kids, Phil.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
F them kids. Who said that?
Where's Claude at?
Hey, kids.
Claude has got some family responsibilities that he's taking care of. So
We haven't seen him in a
I was
while.
like, who's this chick?
Been a little bit, yeah.
Where's Claudio been?
Where is Claudio?
He's
I
picking.
heard he and Jackal bought a trailer.
They're coaching soccer
They're
together.
in Wyoming looking for,
Talent
soccer
for
players.
Italy.
So let's get the auction underway. On the first cow here, who's got 55? 55.
I got it up.
Yeah. Claude's on the soccer circuit with
Yeah.
Jackal.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's Cherie's always here though, isn't she?
There she is. Her
Whoa.
best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
big
we
title.
are doing a birthday trip together.
How Cherie got her groove back.
Uh-oh.
Mom's turning 65 this year, so we are going to Italy.
Not too old for me.
Nice.
Can I go?
Sure, you can join us.
Oh my god, you guys are
You
gonna
have to
so
roll
much-
with
Creepers.
The Italian stallion.
When you come to Connecticut,
I love Cherie's mom.
Cherie's mom and Cherie could experience the old homemade recipe, the Marsaw cannoli.
Oh,
Cherie's happy. I'm happy.
yes,
I'm gonna kill you for that.
as long as Cherie's happy, Thomas Jones is happy.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network. Breaking news.
Does anybody see what Flus is pointing to there? That looks like a fucking visor on our new quarterback. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fired the fuck up because
Hey,
that's
happy.
a visor on QB God right there.
Hey, I'll make this very clear. If you suck at processing, you probably shouldn't wear a visor. And as long as you could process well, you could wear a visor.
Caleb
For
cracked the
Coach
code with
Phil's.
the visor.
The biggest issue I have, again, for Dustin, Reagan, Padilla, and company,
No, it
is
was
fucking
it was
Justin
Gonzo,
Fields. It was who?
Chris Gonzalez.
For
wanted to know-
Gonzalez.
You wanted to know the Phil? I looked.
Yes.
My phone's like going crazy, and I look down and I look at like 4 separate text messages, and it says visor. And
Oh
I'm like,
my
oh
God.
shit, OTA. Caleb must come out with a visor today. So I texted Flus and I said, can you pose for the camera and point to it?
Phil,
Bring more attention to it.
my issue was with Justin Fields, obviously, what I just said, but bigger than that, well, I'll say 1B for cars, was Fields coming out with a visor that he knew he couldn't wear in the game, but went out there for swag. And that was my coach's bait if I was fishing for real quarterbacks. That's a fucking red flag. If you're more concerned about what you look like when you're warming up, that's a problem. And obviously now all these stories are coming out and things that I was told, and I have always kept my word. I've not shared, as Shane could tell you on the show, a lot of stuff in regards to Justin Fields. But everything I had concerns about have come to fruition. So we'll see where Justin Fields' career goes with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm good with it. He can process. He's always worn a visor. So he wore it at Oklahoma and he wore it at USC. I never had a problem with his processing. But when you have a quarterback that can't see the field and they're wearing a visor, that's a problem. And this guy's not a problem. I was having a great night. Cooked on the grill, some chicken. I talked to my boy Tommy Rich I was trying to call him to see if he could cut down a tree, and we were talking football. Then I was throwing the football with Tate before the show. Tate throws 43 yards, 43 to 45 yards he could throw.
Wow.
It's pretty good for a 10-year-old kid.
I guess so.
I've been impressed with him. And it was great catching up with my boy tonight. He might be watching the show, Tommy. But as Cherie said, we got a patron won a 2,000th. How many? 2,000.
Yeah, so you and I were you and I were chatting on the phone one day, and I happened to look down and I noticed that we were fastly approaching our 2,000th piece of content that we've put out on the patron side since we started. So
it's pretty impressive.
Do a little something. We didn't announce it. We didn't want anybody to know. We just once it rolled out, it was like simple. The first person that commented on it was the winner, and you might as well. You want to bring them out now?
In 1 second, I wanted to answer a couple things real quick, and then we'll bring our guy out. But I always dreamed of that, like going to the grocery store and being like the 10 millionth customer, and then the balloons all fall and never happened. But this guy got it. He just commented and won. Gets to be on the show all night. But for Drew Black, you heard me correctly. Yes. Luce and Getsy didn't talk at all last year. They had a very difficult relationship. And thus, Getsy was gone. Maybe Fluce was going to go. We saw how this all has played out right now, but that's the truth. They didn't talk for the entire year. I don't know how you do that as a head coach. It's just unhealthy. And you saw the firings of the defensive coordinator and the running back coach as well. So it's either a positive or a negative. Shane was looking at, for coach to hold it all together despite all those distractions, that could be a positive to look at. They did, and the defense played better with him calling plays. That's a positive. But the offense was Getsy hamstrung by Justin Fields. Can I share one nugget, or should we just keep it under wraps?
Fuck it. Share it.
Getsy wanted to keep going with Tyson Bagent, despite the Justin Fields committee of fandom. The offensive coordinator wanted to continue to roll with.
Well, that goes
Tyson
in line.
Bagent.
That goes in line to when he got to Vegas. Vegas tried trading for Tyson Bagent. So
exactly.
That kind of.
But that was told to me back in December. So they were moving on from Justin Fields, even if someone cracked the code in Chicago in the mud. Even if they cracked the code, Justin was not going to be here. And the tape told me that. And then players sharing some of these stories.
If you swing and miss in such an epic fashion, you ain't crack shit. You may want to buy a Cracking for Dummies book and
maybe you need to start learning
recalibrate your cracking skills because they fucking suck.
He cracked his skull a few times, maybe. A bunch of these guys I laugh at.
Embarrassing.
They're so embarrassed. You don't know football. I always could tell, okay, how do you block an under front? Then I know if they know the game from that level. If you're going to be like Shane doesn't break down tape. I do it, and he interjects. If you're a patron, you know. It ain't Shane controlling and telestrating because he doesn't try to pretend that's his skill set.
I've never one time in the entirety of me doing this.
His name doesn't rhyme with shitty. But if your name does rhyme with shitty in some way, probably shouldn't. You're probably a shitty film reviewer. Don't do it. Like, some people need to just stop. You're just misinformation. It's embarrassing. It's like, no. I don't know how anybody, sorry, our guest, I'm on a rant now. I laugh now looking back on this because now all the truth rises. Like, even Dan Orlovsky looks like Deion Sanders in his prime years trying to backpedal. The only fucking moron on national television is Tim Hasselbeck. And him and his wife's politics could go jump in the fucking Lake Michigan too.
Do you hear that in the background? That's the BHL DDP rant.
I just look at Tim Hasselbeck doubling and tripling down on stupidity every day, and you get paid by ESPN. It's a sham. It's a disgrace. Your colleagues are laughing at you. You were a horrible backup quarterback, and you're worse at analyzing film truthfully. Anybody watching Jaden Daniels fucking tape versus Caleb Williams tape that has a brain or football IQ could tell you within a matter of 4 minutes the superior ability athletically, throwing wise, but also structural mechanics and everything about the kid. It's scary that these people are like running. Oh, we'll have Tim Hasselbeck on ESPN 1000 tomorrow to talk with Pat the designer, and we'll talk about it. Yeah, you know, this it's like a world that I don't even understand football wise. Just don't. Better off bringing some other. Bring the Uber driver on. He knows as much as fucking Tim and Dan. Same with Louis Riddick. I was watching the draft. He's like hyping up these guys. I'm like, come on, bro.
You must have been at the top of your fucking class.
For example, last thing, then we'll bring our guests out. Shane, I'm breaking down. Ivan did an amazing job cutting the tape of the kid from Illinois, defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Right? Sitting there breaking him down.
Call him out, Sheree, real quick. I already know where she's going.
What?
Illinois. No S.
Okay. Illinois. Illinoising.
Just happened to be looking swiftly right at Sheree when she was about ready to lose her mind.
In Illinois. That's how I'll remember.
Not smart.
Oh, I'm showing our fan base the truth. This guy's average to below. He's probably not going to make the football team based on us watching the tape of him. There's no hype there. The tape is telling us that, right? I even saw a few comments like, thank you. We always see, guys that are good. Yeah, because when we watch the tape, they're good. This kid just happens to be average to below. There's size there. I don't know that he fits. Now, Eberflus could put him at right defensive end, and that's where he'll play, and he'll be like the next Rasheem Green. And that's all you're getting out of that. But that's the reality of what you want. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And the great. Just like Shane calling Angelo last week. That was great. But you're still going to have somebody in this world.
Almost everybody, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Somebody in the world is going to have a problem. It's like you can't please everybody.
Not sure if you guys are friends with Angelo, treating him like that. Like, oh God.
Oh my God. I went back and listened to it. Thankfully, Ivan cut it. There's Jackal's nowhere to be fucking found. Ivan goes back and cuts it, and I'm laughing my ass off again like it's the first time. And I'm like, that is the most innocent, amazing thing I've ever heard. It was just authentic.
So that phone call right there is exactly like our phone calls, Phil, when we're not on air with
Exactly.
Angelo. It's the same exact stuff.
I've been on the phone with Shane, Greg Braggs, and Angelo in tears, laughing. I've been on the phone with me and Shane and and Angelo in tears. It's just the reality of that. We just brought you into it. That's what this network and this show is all about. And we actually believe that everybody has a voice, no matter what gender, race, or where you're from. If you have football acumen, we're going to be able to find it and see it. And everybody has the opportunity. It doesn't matter where you're from. We don't have bias. I can have a football conversation with a woman for 2 hours. I could do that. It's just the truth. I don't carry bias. Bias comes from frauds. I've always said that. Always comes from frauds. I will find out. Guy misses Carr's keys.
Yeah, we're gonna have another pop-up one. Cars had some points he wanted to get across, I think.
Car's keys.
He's
anyway,
playing with what are they called? The cicadas? Is that what they're called?
Oh gosh. In Illinois, or because they're making a lot of noise. That's where I was going.
Got some pictures. They're all over the place.
Illinois for the cicadas.
Well, cicadas emerge every 13 years.
Siri.
Oh, because you said my name.
This answer is from Illinois.edu.
Thank you.
She said Illinois.
She said, how do you say that state again? Siri. How do you say Illinois?
Noi.
Okay, she did say Noi. Yeah. All right, you're off the hook, girl. Go to sleep. Have a good night. Let's bring out our guest, Shane.
Let's bring him out. Cherie's gonna sing him.
2000s. Did he make a great comment? Like that shit was great, bro.
I think it was pretty mundane, and actually he took the
Oh.
nice way out. He's like, you can give it to somebody else, and
he gave a bullet.
Like, Ron, come on, shut the fuck up and take the goddamn hoodie, all right? My God,
Ron got a hoodie.
His son got a hat.
His son got a hat, and he gets to come on Keeping It 100.
He got to come on any show
from parts unknown, any show he wanted. Ron D. Ambrosio, there he is.
Good, happy Wednesday, guys.
What's up, man?
What's going on? So excited to be on. And the backstory to that is I already had a hoodie, so I said, since I already have one, I just want to come on the show. You can give the hoodie to another patron. But Shane said that's too much work, so just take the hoodie. So I got it.
There it is.
Any show to come on Keeping It 100, so I got a Keeping It 100 hoodie.
I don't even have one of those, and I love zip up hoodies, so I gotta get a Keeping It 100 zip.
And I got a draft hat for my 8-year-old son too.
Nice. What's his name?
His name is Jackson. He currently is on day 3 of the flu, so it kind of sucks. Yeah.
Is it the stomach flu? Because I was there.
I don't know. It seems to be the everything flu. Started in his throat. Took him to the doctor. They tested for the flu, and that's what he's got.
Yep, that's
That's
going around
not
up here
good.
too.
Sorry, Jackson.
Everybody's out. Yeah, it sucks.
He'll appreciate the shout out when he watches it back.
Well, shout him out twice. One for the stomach flu going out the back end and the front end. Shane's been dealing with that before. I've dealt with that. And obviously, Jackson, you got to hear Cherie and Siri. Siri?
Siri. Jesus.
Siri. Look.
Filling names.
She loves this.
Yeah.
I never use
Now you got my Siri going.
Siri. Who's the best running back in Chicago Bears history? Let's see if she gets this right.
Okay, I found this on the web for who is the best running back in Chicago Bears history. Check it out.
No, I wanted you to tell me. Just say it.
Epic fail.
You're
by
no
Terry.
Alexa. Tell you that.
Ron G's like
it's a
the
big
AI on my Android would have fucking said his name.
That Mickey Mouse Apple product you got can't handle that kind of question. It's gonna just look it up. I know we're on a new level, Ron, of AI. It's like taking over everything.
Hey Siri, play the Rocky IV soundtrack on Bullet's iPhone.
My Survivor on Apple Music.
See?
It's my Survivor on Apple Music.
She knows. Hopefully Bullets is listening to some quality music right now.
Yeah. Is that your favorite Rocky, Ron?
I think so.
Russian?
I'm not a big Rocky guy.
No. Where are you from, Ron?
Not a big Rocky
I am
guy.
from
Come on,
Chicago,
Ron.
Phil, but I moved to Long Island, New York in third grade, but I remained a Bears fan. I'm in Old Spring Harbor, not too far from Hofstra.
Oh, look at you. I was just telling my cousin Odessa, like, don't invite me to your party because I don't want to drive through Long Island. It's the hardest drive in all of the U.S. I will put my stamp on that. Like, people in L.A., you complain about the traffic.
Oh.
You've never been to Long Island. It's like 6,000 roads and everywhere you're in. It's like the craziest, worst drive in America, in my opinion.
There go our comments tomorrow on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, Ron lives there. He knows. Cross County Parkway. I'm like, where are we going?
I don't think I've ever met somebody that's not a Rocky guy. Ron. Just don't dig it.
Ron's our first.
Yeah.
Ron G's like that.
Cherie's even a Rocky guy.
No,
Cherie, you're supposed to play along with me.
Never seen him. Sorry.
She's never seen him, and you're talking shit about Ron.
Yeah. Come on, Cherie.
Take some flames.
I've seen them. It's been a while. I don't know which one's which, though, so I don't want to sound
Oh, God.
So Apollo is Rocky 1.
Well, Rocky
2, Apollo comes back and fights again with Rock. Then Rocky 3 is Mr. T, which is my favorite. Then Rocky 4 is Ivan Drago.
Did you see who voted it the best?
And then Rocky 5
Your guy did. Kyle Brandt.
Tommy. Yeah, exactly. Then you know it's not. I'm a big fan of Rocky 3 with Clubber Lang. Exactly.
It's definitely not a Bears pod, Skeeter. I don't know why you're here. Go watch something else.
Maybe you could skiddity. How do these kids say it? Skiddity.
I have no idea.
There's some slang. And then they go like this or something.
Not sure.
No idea. My son, I have to get him in here. Skibbity giat.
Well, let's
Skeet. It's got his giat.
Yeah. I know what giat is, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what that is. Look at you.
I do.
I'm learning all the kids slang.
I actually had a conversation about that
like an old person, Phil.
with my son.
I've never hidden from the old. I gotta keep up with these youngins. These 5th and 6th grade boys are gonna be. Oh, we might get a couple girls on the tackle team, Cherie.
Nice.
So hopefully we do. There's this one girl, Lily. I'm like, this girl is a player, boy.
She played soccer, but she was too rough for the boy soccer players, so they're
probably
getting her to play football.
She's a baller. But anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. Speaking of which, I'm rocking it tonight. Well, last week I forgot to do it, so I said I'll do it real quick. We're almost at our goal, guys. If you can, please give thetapeneverlies.com. If you haven't, please, and you kept forgetting, we're coming down to the end. We've opened it for the end of the month to try to reach this goal, get these kids equipment and uniforms. Give.thetapeneverlies.com. Every dollar counts. Thank you, everybody, so much that have donated. And we'll just keep promoting it here. Last week I forgot. But tonight, as Dante Gilliam from Tampa, Florida would say, I'm fitting to do it tonight. That's exactly what I did. The Creed movies, Cherie probably has watched every one of those. No?
No.
So you were a big Michael B. Jordan fan.
No? No.
That's my daughter, Bella, is.
She sticks with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Everybody knows he's the GOAT.
That was bad.
Look, finna learn the modern day slang. I am.
There you go.
Rizzler. Yeah, Giat for the Rizzler. That's another one. If you got some modern slang, put it in the chat. I gotta learn it. I'm gonna speak these kids' language with their Giats and their Fortnites and all this. Anyway, the Bears have a quarterback.
Yeah, let's get our guys' thoughts on the draft. Let's go down through it. And what was your reaction, Ron? And what were your expectations leading into the draft? Did it unfold the way that you wanted, especially at pick one?
It did. I was very excited. I obviously Caleb was a given, and I was so pumped up about that. Rome, I wasn't sure that he would be there. Going into it was kind of hoping we would have came away with offensive line help. I did watch all Phil's breakdowns, so I kind of had my shared opinions there. I don't follow college ball so much, so I kind of go with what I see on the tape. But I was very excited with Rome. And, then thinking about it, if you were to look at just the offseason moves we made this year with Keenan and Swift and Everett and Byard and even having a new center, and then to get Rome, that would be like a good offseason, even if we still had Justin. Then you throw Caleb on that, and it's like we're cooking with gas. So I think it's nice to have hope. I feel like I have hope every offseason, but this year I don't think I'm fooling myself. So
yeah, doesn't this year feel like a little bit different for you? Because I've been around this football team a long time, and I was laughing because we've said this for years, me and Shane, and I know I've delved authentically into my personal life, and I've said that 1995 with Eric Kramer, who's been on the network, that 95 year was the first time I ever felt like offensively we had, we showed up at the game and we were going to put up an offensive performance that you could possibly win the game with. Other than that, even with Cutler, as much as I supported him and appreciated his talent, he was just what Jay was going to show up. I've never, even when they were building that team with Alshon Jeffrey and then trading for Marshall, there was this level of excitement for me, but nothing for me like this, where the team on paper, based on what we know about those players, is prepared to give you an offensive game plan, the likes that the NFL is. You're watching Red Zone, you see everybody else doing it, but the Bears are struggling. I've not felt this way about a team since 95. Are you there too, Ron?
I am totally there. I keep running through my head about, knock on wood, what could go wrong or where is the weak spot, and trying to kind of check myself and see if I'm just being biased because I know so much about the Bears and follow them closer than I do with other teams, but just not really seeing it. I mean, you could say maybe the offensive line is still a question mark in the D line, but there's talent on both of those lines and coaching too. But I think we made changes in the right direction there. So
yeah, and
I'm optimistic.
I think the biggest thing that we need to, and we've said it here 10,000 times at this point, it feels like, is I think a lot of the deficiencies with, like, I'll just say the name Braxton Jones. Was I a huge believer in moving forward with Braxton? I was kind of like, I was with you, Ron. I just didn't think you could go wrong with an offensive tackle at 9. I just think there was high upside guys there that are going to be starters for the next 10, 12, maybe even 15 years if you're lucky. But when you step back a little bit, I just think, like we've said here a dozen times, Caleb Williams makes every one of these guys. He makes Braxton Jones that much better just because of the quickness that he gets away, gets the ball away. And that is easy to forget about. Yes, there's going to be some breakdowns and there's going to be some off-platform throws and stuff like that, but it was so consistent with Justin Fields on a, down in and down out basis where they had to, just run around and make plays, not just the quarterback out of structure. Those guys had to play out of structure a lot. And when you have a guy that can just progress, go through his progressions, like Phil said, it's going to make a big, big difference for all of these guys. I think, right along the line. My biggest question mark, if we want to go down here, is Nate Davis. I want to see a bounce back from him because I think I just think that there's a lot of question marks there. Even when I know he dealt with a lot of stuff off the field with the death in his family last year. But there was some games, Phil, where he when he was out there was some games out there where he struggled mightily. So I don't know if it was things that were on his mind, like I said, with the death, but that's going to be a very, very important piece. This is a guy that they've invested in, a decent amount of money, and quick path to the quarterback is.
I think Nate put on tape a lot of good things. I think the caution in the wind was his head coach in Tennessee having criticism towards him.
Now, did he show up? Was he there? That's what I did not see. Was he present?
I don't know. Maybe
I saw the Bears when I was in the green room enjoying the raw bar that they posted a photo shoot and he was in there dressed. They didn't have every player. I think he was one of them, along with DJ and his dark advisor.
I mean, when you lose your mom, how people are going to react to that is an unknown. So I think you have every right to feel that way. I did see a lot of good things on tape, but it coincided with some bad things.
Oh, yeah.
Which happen in football. But when you add, okay, this is pull back the truth curtain, he lost, I believe, his mom, right? So
I don't know if that's been confirmed. That was
the story.
That was
someone in his family he's lost. But irregardless, you never know how someone's going to handle that. Even the loss of their dog, a pet, is a family member in my mind. So, for example, a kid on our football team lost his dog, and I was very much checking in with him to see how he was, because I know how it could affect you, or the emotion of it could put you in a place. And listen, it's a physical, mental game, and let's see where he is. I love the player. I like the signing, and I thought he's one of the better guards in the NFL. So maybe he comes back motivated with all of what the Bears have done, with Caleb coming here and like Keenan Allen, my guy making plays today, tight end.
Everett.
Yeah, Gerald Everett. He put in all these guys.
In that clip that I played with Caleb rolling out. Yeah.
I've always been a big Gerald Everett guy. I think he was my number 3 tight end that year behind Kittle. I had Kittle 1, then someone 2, and then him, Gerald Everett. But anyway, what the Bears have done, I think, should ignite the whole fucking roster. And I think that's where we are. And one other thing where you were worried about, I wanted to add this. When I watched Justin Fields, all those games, all those reps, and I just never saw, when you see a kid riding a bike and they learn how to ride a bike for the first time, they improve. Now they're riding no hands, their confidence goes up. You follow me where I'm going? And with Justin, it just seems like, okay, year 3, he's still got training wheels on. He could do one really good thing and break away and run. He just processing was slow, but the whole tap, wind up, but the ability to anticipate windows wasn't there. And Caleb from Oklahoma, true freshman coming in, there are anticipation throws that are just Montana-like. And that's when I'm like, okay, this is a different level of football. And the Chicago Bears, they just, whether they weren't lined up with the fucking football stars and planets to be in the right place to get these guys, or they thought they had a guy and they passed on an Aaron Rodgers because they thought they had a guy. They never were thinking, okay, even with all of these GMs, think about it. Not picking a quarterback through a whole draft. Ryan Pace would say, yeah, you got to pick a quarterback. He never did. Never did it. I think we had that one year where they picked Kyle Orton.
Yeah.
Right. And they had that other kid when Marks was here from Nathan's son from fucking Idaho.
Nathan Enderle.
Enderle.
That was the Greg Gabriel was on the phone with running back James Stark.
Yes, that's right.
In one room, and the other room, Jerry Angelo drafted Nathan Enderle.
They never
little
did
things
it.
like that. Little things like that, though, Phil. You just think about that process.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel is in one room making a phone call. Jerry Angelo is in another room drafting a guy. Nowadays, everybody's right there in a centralized location. So nonsense like that doesn't happen.
Well, Doug makes a good point. We've talked about this many times, and I was lucky enough to have the experience of traveling with the Bears. So I know exactly where George and Ted align. When they say they don't do football or whatever, it's malarkey. It's like being around a politician that's in charge of everything, that don't know anything about what they're in charge with, and they hired all these good people, but they don't want to listen to them. They're going to make the final decision themselves or have to. And Ted was and is that kind of fucking asshole. Just telling you that. David Fales in the 7th round out of San Jose State. Okay. There's another one they drafted. But you see the point when you see someone that's better than you or better than what you have.
Enderle was the Marts guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he even make the team? Maybe he made it that one, and they let him go. But the Bears have always been in search of a quarterback. And I have never been in this place that I could share with you fans that it just so happens to be the best one I've ever scouted that our Chicago Bears have. That's over Deshaun Watson. It's over Pat Mahomes. And I think you need to clean the wax out of your ears when I say that. It's over Andrew Luck. It's not about where they went. That's on Caleb.
Right, yeah, you're not projecting career paths.
Yeah, I'm not
you're projecting talent, and that's people fall off the cliff with that. And then you guys are saying this guy's going to win, 3 Super Bowls in his first 7 years, whatever, like Patrick Mahomes. No, nobody's saying that.
Can't predict
the comp is the talent. The comp is not a career path at all. It's just is what it is. But
it's the resume.
I saw a quote from Travis Kelce where he said there's things he's seen on film from Caleb that even reminds him of Mahomes before.
Yeah. I don't know how you couldn't. I don't know. It literally jumps right out there. I always have said the 3 guys is Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Dan Marino. I don't think I could put higher class of fucking players than that. But go ahead. You had a question.
When you look back at last year or even the year before, with all the things that we would complain about with the Bears offensive play calling, with the lack of Justin being under center, and when we had late game leads, like the first game against the Lions last year, where we just gave it away by being conservative, and it was real easy to blame Flus on that. In hindsight now, do you think that's just because they totally didn't trust Justin, or do you think that's still something we're going to have to worry about this year?
I think it can absolutely be a part of it, because like I said, we're not there day in and day out. And you see the different reports that are coming out, and say what you want to say about Nick Foles. I was never a big Nick Foles fan, but the guy has been around a very, very long time. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. He balled out in the playoffs, had an amazing run. But if there is any truth to that, if a guy like Nick Foles is sitting in a classroom and talking to Justin Fields, and he looks at Justin Fields and he's just dismissive of any information, those are things that we don't have access to every day. You know what I mean? So if Flus is seeing that, it 100% plays into how you're going to call a game. Like, well, I know that this guy can't make this play. Yeah, we're gonna get out of it. We're gonna run the ball on 3rd and 13. You think they're doing that with Patrick Mahomes? You think they're doing that with Jordan Love? Not doing it with Andrew Luck or with Peyton Manning or Dan Marino either. How many times did we see that last year with Justin?
Yeah, I think it played a hell of a lot more into it. You got a coach not talking to his OC. The OC wants Tyson Bagent, not Justin. Maybe the OC. Listen, I knew what Justin could do and how to make an offense surrounding that. And that's probably what they're going to do in Pittsburgh. I know he'll be the backup there. He's not going to be starting over Russell Wilson. It's a joke. Like, it just is. It's just the truth to people. It's like a reality for me. You're going to have to do heavy power scheme action off of it. And to your point, I was always calling for under center because that would align rhythmically his feet. When he would be able to have his back turned, get his feet under him, he threw a better ball. And what comes with action? Action comes with,
and you see he has
trick.
Switched his feet in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But when you do play action, it gives the look of a run, which opens up a window to throw, which if you're a see it open thrower, action passing is better for you. And that's where he would be. So they needed to do more of that. They didn't. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. And running the RPO game, getting him on the edge, that's good. But if he can't read and can't throw across the middle, which we saw. And listen, I watched all the tape of all these guys. I know what I saw in Mac Jones and why I put Mac Jones over him has been very documented. And Mac Jones is an anticipation thrower. He would fit what Mr. Getsy wants to do. That's just the reality of that, where Justin doesn't. So, and what Nagy wanted to do, that's an anticipation passer is going to fit that. So now you got a guy that does both. Caleb can run and manipulate the pocket like you haven't seen, and he also could throw every pass in the whole game. But the best thing that he does is his release and anticipation. So if you have a great release, right, and you anticipate well, then an open window that might be this big, Justin is never throwing it, right? Caleb can. And that's going to make the difference. That's what Tom Brady worked all those years on with rubber bands and muscle mechanics, trying to get his release and strength in his arm so he can get it there. Caleb just has this naturally. It's like none I've ever seen. That's why I was so adamant. It's like, this is the fucking layup. It's ridiculous. We were fighting. What did Ivan call all these Justin Fields? Not the cult, but whatever they were, the Fields fanatics. We were fighting the civil war every day here at TTNL out in front. And we even had our own patrons questioning us. Not you, Ron.
I was Team Justin for a little while before we secured the #1 draft, but where it looked like we were leading up to it. I thought that with the right pieces around him and different play calling, you could win with him. I never thought that he could, become a top 5 quarterback or something. But your tape breakdown of Caleb, obviously I knew who Caleb was, but I didn't really watch too much of him in college, and I knew Justin's flaws. But then once I watched your stuff, I really switched my stance 100% and became all about Caleb. So you convinced me.
Well, I appreciate you being on. It's a hard thing for a lot of people, just to be honest.
Oh, that's the thing, man. It's just still to this day, like tomorrow, when you go to the YouTube comments, there's going to be comments in there. Oh, you guys loved Mac Jones. Shane loved Deshaun Kaiser. Yeah. And I've always been here and talked about it. My name is on it. It's on video. That's the separator. But just like what Ron did right there, a lot of people wouldn't even do what he just admitted right there. They'd just be like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, I was all in.
Well, you have guys like Swifty pretending they never said the bullshit that they said about him.
Well, you can't talk negative about a player while he's wearing your colors. I mean, which is, if you're going to break down tape and that's going to be your philosophy, then what the fuck are you doing anyway?
Exactly. Why is anybody like Barlissimo? Is he doing that same thing? And Adam Mason, are they now? Because I don't follow it. I'm asking authentically. Are they now Caleb 100% pom-poms? Or are they, well, I'm a Bears fan, so I got to cheer for the quarterback?
Yeah, I just think I don't think they're alone in that. I think it happens with a lot of people. I saw just earlier today there was a Commanders guy that has quite a following on Twitter, and he was posting a picture of Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams at the NFL rookie premiere, and talking about how much bigger Jaden Daniels was. Well, he's not bigger, he's taller. And then he was correlating that with how much of a better quarterback he was going to be because of it. Well, then somebody took that. I mean, people forget that there's a fucking search function on Twitter. I do it all the time.
All the receipts, by the way.
So
Lucas,
somebody pulled it up and they're like, hey, is this you? And he's like, do you really think we're going to stay at #2 when you have a generational quarterback like Caleb Williams that wants to come home? Do you really think we're going to sit at #2 and we're not going to try to move up to get him? And so then the guy responded to it when he got called out, and he's like, oh, I was blinded. Now I realize that Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback. But that's the name of the game.
Clearly hasn't watched tape.
That's the name of the game for people. A lot of them, your team picks them, and everything has changed, and the warts go away. And I mean, hey, you just did a breakdown, Phil, and weren't very complimentary of a undrafted free agent. And there's a lot of guys that are going to look at him and, oh, he's from Illinois. The Bears signed him as a UDFA. Oh, Bears need a defensive lineman. Oh, he's gonna make the team. I love him, and they've never watched a snap of him.
No, exactly.
That's the trap that people fall into.
That's my point. Breaking down Keith Randolph, I'm not going to pretend that I've studied Keith Randolph. I was watching Johnny Newton, and me, you, and my dad mostly. This is a 3rd, 4th round defensive tackle on Johnny Newton, who has some splash plays.
I could have pulled it. I didn't have him in the 3rd or 4th. I would have been comfortable with him in the 2nd round. Johnny Newton. I'm just being honest with me. But like when I was on with Woot and Braggs on CHGO After Dark, and he was talking about
was saying take him at 9.
At 9.
That was our one who asked us that question? Was it Greg or was it somebody on here?
I can't remember, but I brought up. I said, "Well,
that was both of our."
I talked when I was talking to Wood. I'm like, "Well, when I look, he's not him. But the closest guy to him in terms of explosiveness off the snap to Tommy Harris was Byron Murphy." And he's like, "Oh man, Woot didn't see that at all. He was all about Newton there." And I said, now he's probably going to be out for his entire rookie year, having the same surgery on the opposite foot that he just had surgery on. So now you got a 300-pound defensive lineman with 2 surgeries in a calendar year on each of his feet. That's not great.
Yeah, that's even worse now. Imagine taking that guy at 9 and he's got a fucking surgery again on his foot as a defensive tackle. Matthew, we see your Facebook comments.
Look at that.
I see not really well, but looks like you outkicked your coverage here.
Big time.
Mr. Watley.
Either that or he's got some awesome Photoshop skills. They'll never know.
This is the longest. I didn't think there was this much space. We're covering our guests reading this. I will be honest with you, Phil. I am a Justin Fields guy.
There's right.
But I switched positions. I came to realize that no matter what talent you surround him with, 2 flaws stand out about him. First, he could not mount fourth quarter drives to win games. Second, he can't read defenses, and that leads him to holding on to the ball too long. So being a lifelong Bears fan, I'm going to ride or die with Caleb Wood. And there you go. And listen, that's why I tried to, you could say anything. People can hate me or whatever, but I am never going to be gray on anything but my hair. It's always this or that, straightforward. And Caleb will get the same kind of treatment, just like every other guy that we watch tape with. If I've always said it if Mike Glennon or Charles Leno was outstanding, guess who'd be the guy with 2 thumbs pointing it out? This guy. Look at this player. Look at how good he is. That's what the goal is. And I can honestly say I was the first one to do it, and it did it well. Did it with my coaching and humor, and I'll continue to do it if you're a patron at thetapeneverlies.com.
So, Ron, do you want to have some fun right now? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna prove a point to everybody, because I was just scanning the chat, and our guy Dante in here is firing people up. So Dante doesn't seem to be a Caleb Williams fan. So Dante, hit me up on Twitter at Wasram, at WASRAM. I will send you a show link.
Oh my God, Dante,
come on right now tonight, and we can debate Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears live on air.
There you go. Dante what does he have? I don't understand. What is this? I don't even know what he's talking about. Could you give me some context? Thomas Adams and Ron can agree. Easiest $7 a month to be a patron. Love these guys. Best breakdown. And listen, we have families. I have a day job. I also coach. So Shane and Ivan can attest. And Ivan is like a lifesaver, my backup. He'll step in, and
What flavor lifesaver do you think he is?
He's got to be the cherry one, man.
Oh,
you know I'm the cherry one, man. you know I'm the red one.
He's the red one.
Met his wife on farmersonly.com, and he's a cherry lifesaver.
Actually, Shane, let me ask you.
Was there any blowback to that, Ivan?
No. I was gonna. She's watching. I cut it. Well, spoiler alert. It's gonna be played tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I love how we're just jumping around, but when Shane's doing these things, and this is just me loving Angelo, he will answer Shane quickly, like, yeah, oh, really? Now, Shane, let me ask you, Facebook, what happened to you there? And he goes into his own questions back, which makes me crack up. Like, the more I listen to this, the more things I find in it that are funny every time.
That's what it's here right now, too, yeah?
Did you hear about Phil?
No, what up? Oh, yeah, they stole his car?
Yeah. He got it. They found it.
Where did they find it?
Waterbury? Does that make sense? I don't know all the places down there.
Yes.
They found it in Waterbury.
Yeah, maybe Waterbury. Yeah, sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, and the funniest part, did he tell you?
No.
There was a fucking chopped up mini bike next to it.
The chopped up mini bike goes back to Angelo's mini bike, and you would have to be a fan of our show to know that
it's right here.
When you come to Connecticut, I'm gonna give your kids a ride on the wagon with the mini bike. And there you have it, guys. We got a nice little wagon ride.
I laugh every time I see that, man. Oh my God. Angelo. Next week, man. We gotta get him ready, Shane. Get him ready.
So, where did it go?
Oh, here's Dante. Dante
said, draft doc, I wanted to haul. Shane, I'll see you on X. Thanks for the invite.
But this was his other one, huh? Ask the tape sometimes lie, fellas. See?
Yeah. Well, hey, he's right about the slow get off because I'm looking on X and I don't have anything from Dante yet. So,
oh my God. A bag of cheese curds.
You want to give an update? Your guy Jared Perry's asking, did you get your car back? And if you did, that was good. I was hoping it would come up.
Yeah, the car has been found. It was found in Waterbury. I guess there's a TikTok on the Hyundai Sonatas.
Probably wouldn't put that out there even more than it is. I'd keep that one
already out there. I mean, there's nothing I could do.
My PIN number is
the steering wheel column is ripped off. They stole a computer, football equipment, a lot of personal items, and the garage door opener, all this other stuff. So, but the insurance is going to fix the car because the car, despite being a 2011, has a brand new engine that was placed in it in 2018. So technically, it only has about 36,000 miles on the new engine. That's why I didn't want to give it up without, no car payment. The thing is paid off and it'll run for another 180,000 miles. So, or more. So that's like my commute to Hartford car. So they're going to fix it. Now I just have to wait. I'm in a rental. And I have the same car as my dad as a rental.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the option they gave me.
Were the TikTokers named Dirty Mike and the boys?
I don't know, but I did send Shane the "fuck you, Mike" chant.
Yeah, he did.
If anybody has a friend named Mike, let me know. I'll send you the chant "fuck you, Mike." But thank you for asking, Jared. And I'm still waiting for I love that car. So still waiting for it to get back, but we'll see. We'll see what it does.
Still waiting for an update on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a lot of this.
One guy just followed TTNL and me at the same time. So maybe I don't want to give his name out because maybe it's not him, but
it could be.
I don't have a DM. He's got a completely different name than what's in the chat. So
hey,
we'll see. Dante, if you're listening, send me a DM.
takes humility to trust experts and analyze things properly. And when you've been wrong, but you can remain arrogant asshole. That's cool. We see you. And he's talking about those other guys. Yes. And I don't know. I don't like to give people a platform when they've said completely inappropriate things about Shane and myself that are unforgivable. So I don't I'm not afraid. I would be more than happy. It's funny how none of them have ever reached out to me to come on their show to go at me at my take. So that just says it right then and there. And I shout out my boy, Jimmy Larison, for that insight. They don't invite you on their show to debate you because they're afraid. They want to.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Still might be one of the best drops in TTNL history.
Jim Larison will be on the show in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Talking about the stadium. Killingly, Connecticut. I have no idea where that is. But Connecticut, I think it takes about an hour and 45 minutes to leave the state from where we live. So I can go to Mass. Take me 40 minutes to get to Mass. Takes me an hour and 35 minutes to get to New York.
Speaking of New York, Ron, do you have any thoughts on pizza?
Yeah, Ron, I forgot.
New York.
Long Island.
I've not had New Haven pizza, but
I'm gonna get you out here, Ron.
What'd you say?
Got to get you out here over in Connecticut, bro.
I know. Next time I'm there, I'm gonna reach out.
Whitestone Bridge.
You know that traffic, Phil. You gotta send TTNL 1 to come and get me or something. You know?
Yeah.
That would be.
I like New York pizza over Chicago deep dish. I do like the bar pie. Chicago this thin stuff is pretty good, but I'm a New York pizza guy, but I haven't tried New Haven yet. But I do like Italian beefs, Chicago hot dogs. That I'll take over their pizza all day long.
Phil puts ketchup on his hot dogs, Ron.
Yes, I do.
What do you think of that, Ivan?
Whatever you want to do, man. It's up to you.
Thank you, Ivan.
I guess. I mean, you're wrong, but
it's not a wrong. It's ketchup.
Look,
mustard,
you have the right to be wrong, man.
Grilled onion.
It's okay. It's all right. It's America. You know, you don't have to be right all the time.
These guys are putting pickles on fucking hot dogs. They're calling it sandwiches, probably. It's just ketchup, relish. I'll chop up and sauteed onions, grilled onions on a dog. It's delicious.
Let's not forget he also had a dry Italian beef. So
yeah,
that was the worst thing I heard.
Never done that.
Has not been.
They didn't help me at all, to be fair, at the stadium. I'm thinking it's like a Philly cheesesteak where there's sauteed onions and beef, like a Philly. I never had that before, but they didn't tell me about this gravy or whatever.
Yeah, it's like au jus, you know, they just dip it a bit. It gets a little softer, the bread, and then they put whatever you want. Hot peppers, sweet peppers, jardinere if you want, provolone cheese, whatever you want. I mean, you didn't know how to
try it again.
You didn't know how to do. I got you this time.
This time we're gonna make up for it. We go to Portillo's. They have it there, Portillo's.
Drew's calling you out, man.
Yeah. I didn't know, Drew.
He said he's an expert on dry sex, so you got to take him for his word.
I'm taking for his word. Italian beef. Where's the best place to get one of them?
Well, you got Al's beef. You got Johnny's beef. Portillo's has beef. Sells beef sandwiches.
Bona beef.
Bona beef. Thank you. I'm probably forgetting a bunch, but I mean, they got them all over the place.
I agree, Rakim.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try the Italian beef
Beef.
with Ivan. We'll film it when we come.
Mr. Beef, yeah, definitely. I forgot about Mr. Beef.
You know, a lot of people have opinions on where the best place. I did enjoy Portillo's when we went. I don't think Cherie was with us that night when we all went to Portillo's, but I know my guy Emery was there. Trent was with us. The Sandlins. Ivan, you were there, right?
Oh yeah, Ben. That movie wasn't supposed to see the light of day. Right?
Ivan's Beef. Farmers only certified.
Yeah. That was his profile picture, his wife said.
Ivan's Beef.
Yeah, just says holding a beef sandwich.
She's like, fuck it, I'm in.
We're gonna do a lot of fun things when we come to Chicago. We will try this tavern style pizza this time.
November 10th is still the target, but we have a lot of moving parts.
Yes, there's a lot of minutia, but that looks like 85-90% chance. I think Jim
got tickets for week 5
extra tickets for that time already.
What did Ron say?
Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
Spoke over Phil. Sorry, I said I bought tickets right when they came out for week 5 versus Carolina to take my son there, and then I decided I wanted to get tickets for week 1 instead. I'm only going to go to 1, and then of course you guys said you were targeting Patriots, and I'm like, oh damn! But so I think I'm going week 1 with my 8-year-old.
Nice. Hey,
so now he's got tickets that he's got to get rid of. So you're on the perfect place for that.
Yep.
Oh, you already bought 2 tickets.
I actually bought 3 sets. Long story, but I bought tickets for the Titans, and then I ended up splurging for field passes for Caleb's first game. So I have face value tickets for the Titans and the Panthers that I'm looking to sell, and that's not why I brought it up to try and sell it. Although
we'll help you out.
Yeah. There's lots of patrons. Patrons, hit them up on the Patron app, and we can, do a little business.
Oh yeah.
As Angelo would say, I gotta do what I gotta do.
No, one more thing. I know what I was going to ask you. If you went out to eat and you were going to eat just chicken wings, how many of those fuckers do you think you could put away in one sitting? 60.
Yeah, I'm hungry for wings. But I would have to.
You didn't even think about that answer. Right off the top. Like he knew it already.
60.
We have him on video when he's out with Phil. His
and
the best part of this, Angelo's cousin's name is Angelo. So he was there too, correct?
Right.
So Angelo and Angelo, Tate, Dev, and Phil. Angelo's putting in his order for wings, and she goes, "Well, how many do you want?" He goes, 36.
I think it's on. We can play it. I think it's on the Draft Mob backdrop. Hold on. Let's see if we can play that. Is it there? Because I played it with my dad, and he was cracking up.
We might have moved it.
Yeah,
around.
here it is. Hold on.
Okay, let me have 36.
He said that he's a blue cheese guy, but that night, didn't he bring his own ranch dressing?
He brought his own ranch dressing
in his man purse,
in his merce
bottle.
His
a merce with his own bottle of ranch.
He had his own bottle of ranch in his merce. I'm bringing him to Modern Pizza.
Oh, I'm making the drive.
Steph is trying to. Yes, Steph is trying to get you down here for that.
Yeah.
Ron should drive down too.
I'm in. Let me know when. I'll do
Modern Pizza with Angelo is going to be special. He's never been. He's never been to I go, you have never been to Modern Pizza?
Yeah, and he loves pizza. That dude.
Jesus Christ, he loves pizza. Where's Ron? Ron G's texting me. Oh, he's taking me for a real fucking beef sandwich. He said, "Fuck that, fuck bullets." He says,
down in his basement.
Ron's beef. Ron's beef.
Ron's beef.
Bill, get over here.
Maron.
Ron's beef. Oh boy. I made this special background. Cherie left. Oh no, I'll have to get out of this background.
By the way, I say motto so much now in my house because of this that now my kids say it and my wife just cannot stand it. My son doesn't really understand that it's like an expression, so he goes around and calls people motto. Like, look at this motto. I'm not even quite sure if that's like offensive or not. So I don't know. It's kind of...
No, it's not offensive. Madon means like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Should we play this for Ivan's wife before she falls asleep?
Before she falls asleep?
Do you remember Ivan Vargas from the show?
No.
Yeah, he met his wife that he married on farmersonly.com. I did get 2 DMs the next day, by the way, asking me if that was true. I'm like, no.
True? Is it
Right.
true?
No.
Yeah. Yes, it's
Oh
true.
my God.
Ivan was just bored one night perusing farmersonly.com and found himself.
Found his wife from
Yeah.
it fits because she's from Wisconsin. So
Oh,
there
nice.
you go. And she's a Packers fan.
What?
Exactly, Angela.
Is she a diehard? Does she give you a bunch of shit about it, being a Bears fan?
She typically stays quiet. I usually do the shit talking.
There you go.
Just because I gotta.
Good man.
I can't go without, what am I gonna do? Just watch her enjoying the Packers on a Sunday while I have to go and suffer what we had to suffer through? Like there's no way.
You'd be like Bratcher. Anthony Richard is good, honey. Yes, he is.
Then let me do what I hired to do.
Poor Bratcher.
I love Bratcher. Listen, he's got his place. He took Adam Rank there. All right, what's the name of the place? You're texting me. You're like bullets right now. Texting me. Ron G, what's the name of your place? Put it in the chat. I'll go. I'm going to go everywhere. I went to Chicago Cut for that steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
That was outstanding.
Cap's place, yeah. Cap's always.
Jim took me there.
Yep.
I went to Gibson's Steakhouse. That was outstanding. I went to, where did we go? Gino's East. No. Gino's East was not where it's at. That was deep dish. It was a little salty. The sauce, right, Ivan? It tasted canned.
Gino's has become a little commercialized. Like the Gino's East that people, the nostalgia that people think about, like that's gone. Like it's now a commercialized business. So it's not the place that we went to. It wasn't a good spot anyways, in my opinion. There's so many different other places now that you could have gone to have a good, slice of pizza. So
I went to Lou Malnati's, the Illuminati's, I would call it. The first time I went there, and that was good. Honestly, that was a good pie, and I had a keto slice too, which was like built with sausage on the bottom. That was like the dough, and it was very good. So I had the butter dough or crust, butter crust, something like that. That was good. So Illuminati's was good. And the first time I went there, what's the other one? Deep dish place. There's another
Giordano's.
Giordano's. My first time I ever went to Chicago, I had Giordano's. And that I stupidly go, okay, let me get a large. They're like, okay. Fucking thing weighed about 40 pounds. Like, what the fuck is this? Opened it up. I had one slice. That thing was so deep. And it tasted like a pastry crust, Shane.
That's the secret to going to modern, is you don't order the large.
You order smalls.
And you just get a bunch of them, because I said our whole fucking table was full.
They have the giant large. I mean, Large is
They
like
do have a huge
like
large,
giant or
yeah. But you get more, like we ordered so everybody can try different, tastes. Like I order, my guy AO Max will love the upside down calzone, which is pepperoni and ragat with moots and sauce, and I'll order that. And not a lot of people have tried that. So for instance, Claudio's wife had never had that. Now that's all she gets is that pie. The pepperoni, regatta cheese, mozzarella, and sauce laid out on a pie. And that Greg Braggs, who doesn't know what fucking regatta cheese is, had that with the hot honey on it. So that's just another upside down calzone with honey, red pepper.
Phil took Greg Braggs, and that Claudio was there. So I called Claude and gave him my credit card info so I could pay for everybody's dinner that night. And then, do you remember what Greg did after that?
Yeah, he orders two.
He ordered two more to go.
Two, not even smalls. He orders two larges to go. On Shane's tab. What a dick.
I'm not smart.
I didn't even know he did that. I thought you paid the bill and he paid his own. No, he put it on Shane's.
I'm sitting there talking to Claude, and he's talking to the waitress because I didn't know if she would do it, over the phone like that. And then you went to someplace after that and got like a dessert pizza or something, right?
Yeah, we went over to Zanelli's, which is more Napolitan pizza in New Haven on Worcester Street, which is Little Italy there. And they have a Nutella pizza, which is a dessert pizza with Nutella, and they double crust it with strawberries on top. So the Nutella is in the middle. It's almost like a calzone, but very thin. Nutella in the middle.
Just give me just give me the pizza.
Strawberries.
I don't need that other shit.
I'm just telling this dessert pizza. Greg hates Nutella, and he had like 5 pieces. Trust me, it's absolutely delicious.
Sandy Tom.
Oh, Sandy Tom.
He went 11 deep, right?
Yeah, 11 slices after he travels the train from Jersey because he's up by Giant Stadium. He's like, oh, mate, or whatever the fuck, however he said it. I'm over here. I just had 2 hot dogs before I left and all this beer because Sandy could drink. He's like, I don't know how much room I'll have. I go, we're going to fucking Modern Pizza. We've been talking about this for months. And he's like, yeah. So I took him around and then we went. He's like, I don't know how many I'll have. 11 pieces, 11 slices. And he took 2 pies back with him and Brian Dean. Shout out to Brian Dean, also from Scotland. They took it back to their hotel. They were like, oh my, he's like, that was the best pizza he's ever had. In fact, he DM'd me the other day. I was like, I got to get back there to visit and also go to Modern again.
Yeah.
They did a big thing on Modern Pizza just the other day. All these famous.
I just saw that. Michael Imperioli's.
Yeah.
Big fan. Yeah.
All these famous people, actors were down in New Haven. You couldn't even get in there. We drove by. There's a fucking line all the way down the street.
What do they call there's an actual, I forget what it's called, but when they go to, there's something set up where you go to every one. There's a specific name for it.
They have a Worcester, a New Haven pizza tour now.
Well, whatever. But my boss from here,
did it?
Yeah, him and his fiance drove down, and I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, "Oh, we're just going for the pizza."
Really?
And I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna fucking love it."
So did he go to all of them?
He did. He liked Sally's the best, I believe.
So a lot of people do. I don't think it's even close, but Sally's is more Ron sauce. Very fucking thin though. Like paper thin. It's crazy. But there's so much of a sauce taste. Steph and I both agree. Like it's not even close. Modern number 1.
Even the
Pepe's.
Even the fucking what were the breadsticks? They're not really breadsticks.
Oh, we had the garlic garlic bread with the fucking marinara dipping sauce.
But it had the cheese and all that shit on.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm not even sure if Hila ate any pizza. She was fucking going crazy on the bread. Probably what made her miserable.
What a big pizza talk. There's something else. Oh, I sent Chris Harold. I sent him Sally's Pizza.
Oh, nice.
From New Haven as a gift, as a thank you.
I must have missed mine. Must not have delivered it
yet. Well, he's in Chicago, and I wanted him. I know they got the baby.
He deserves it. Absolutely.
Yes. So I sent him. He got that on Tuesday.
I did have a baby 2 years ago, so I still need pizza. But
next time. Yeah. Ron G says Big O's. Do you know this place, Ivan? Bob O's.
Bobos. Where are your glasses, Phil?
Bobos.
Bobo. It's actually right down the street. It's not bad.
Oh, Ron.
Sound like a ringing endorsement, Ivan.
Sound very good, Ron.
That's like saying the Cubs bullpen's all right.
Well.
Oh, man. Well, Caleb Williams is the New Haven pizza. If pizza was a quarterback, that's what we got right now. And that's where we're going to do.
Oh, my God. Ivan, you're going to have to fly in. I'll come pick you up at the airport when I drive down, and we'll go do New Haven pizza with Angelo, Ron. You're not that. How long of a drive is it for you, New Haven? Can't be that bad.
For me?
I don't know. Probably
Ron?
Oh, for Ron.
Probably going to be 2 hours. He's going to be stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
But then once he gets on
New Haven, 2 hours.
How far
New
is it
Haven from Stanford is about a good hour, probably. That Bridgeport.
I just need to taste this fucking pizza because like I've heard about it for years now, and it's
Ivan,
like
I
Great White Buffalo that I can't.
I was skeptical because I've had all the New York pizza, and I just kind of am like, all right, Phil, yeah, I know it's the fucking best. And when I got down there, I was like, holy shit, dude wasn't kidding. It's the best pizza I've had.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's really, really good, man. And it's the dough.
You just got to get there at the proper time and not have to wait for fucking.
We weren't leaving that line because that was like,
no.
Oh my God.
And
there's
Phil is
Omar Barrios. He's in New Haven, so he has his. It's about the pie. Sally's cheese pepperoni. Modern, he likes the clam.
So the clam pizza they renamed after who's the fucking actor? Because that was in that article too.
Oh yeah, they named it after the dude. What's his name?
Fuck, he was on Private Parts, Howard Stern's movie.
Yeah, what's his name? Pigment.
Virus.
He's all Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti. Yeah,
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, they call it the Giamatti, right?
At Modern. Yep.
Yeah,
but I don't agree with Omar, even though I love Omar. Parties, Pepe's. I don't know what the summer special is. And Bar. We were at Bar literally 2 weekends ago.
Kerry Franklin.
Oh my God. Kerry lives in Tennessee. Kerry's the only person I've ever met that went to New Haven and was like, oh no, I don't know. So Kerry's taste buds might be off. He jumps in cold water every day.
Frozen.
We can have a TTNL pizza meetup. Get Omar Barrios, all these Connecticut peeps, New York peeps. Cherie will drive up.
Robert Nash is in.
We can have a TTNL meet up. I'll do it.
Robert said in the chat before I should take the ferry across.
You could take the ferry across.
Well,
I took Eric Clemens there.
I could call Angelo and he could bring the mini bike as long as you guys can look like Dumb and Dumber. You know what I mean? Harry and Lloyd driving to New Haven.
Ask Angelo to come pick me up in the wagon.
I could call him right now. Angelo, I got a project for you.
I got a project.
Drive the mini bike to Long Island. Pick up Ron, bring him down for pizza.
We could set this up. Look, what are we thinking? End of June, we can have the TTNL meet up at Modern Eats.
Yeah.
And then we could go to the other pizza places. I don't know. We'll do something.
We'll do the fucking
the tour
in Oswego, college town here. They used to Bridge Street was where all the fucking bars were. So there used to be used to call it the Bridge Street Run. You'd start at 7:00 in the morning and you do the
rent
Bridge
a
Street
bus.
Run. No, you could just fucking walk, man. Stumble.
We can't walk there.
No. I know. I'm just
for this. We would have to have because State Street is where Modern is. Then Worcester Street, you got to go about 1.5 miles, and you don't want to walk in some parts of there to get over to Little Italy. That's Worcester has Sally's and Pepe's. Zapardi's is all the way in West Haven, so you'd have to you got to go over the bridge and get over to the other side.
Yeah, we could.
Then they talk about some other place in New Haven. Bar is there too. Modern owns Bar, so when people go Bar is the best. Well, Modern, that's Modern's dough, sauce, and recipes over there.
So it's just Modern Pizza at Bar.
But what Bar does over there, they do a mashed potato pizza, which is mashed potatoes with bacon, and it's really good. Like people are like, what, mashed potato? But it's really good. And then they have some other that they don't serve at Modern. But if you're me and you ask for it, they'll make it for you at Modern.
What was the one that Steph like the one, the broccoli one, right? I think
she loves the white broccoli with garlic, white, no sauce,
all right,
just olive oil. Oh my god,
right,
that is a great pie.
I'm gonna need to hitchhike with somebody that's going to this thing. Like I'm gonna have to hop because we keep talking about it. I'm just getting more and more fucking hungry.
It's so good. I'm ready to go too.
I'm all over the pep and regat. That was the one that you had.
That's the upside down calzone. It's my favorite too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It is good. And then the other their sausage pizza. Zapardi's Omar's right. The Zapardi's sausage is very good, and Zapardi's now sells their frozen pizzas in Big Y stores and Stop and Shop. So if you have one of those in your area, Zapardi's New Haven style pizzas in the frozen section, it's the best frozen pizza. Like, just pop it in the oven. They tell you just lay it on don't put it on a cookie sheet. Just lay it on the grill, whatever they call that, the grill thing, and cook it there. Bro, it's like you get an authentic view of it.
Yeah, Steven, they told me about this. I think Phil's told me about this, and I just keep, I fumbled. I keep fucking up and not.
You have to check it out.
Going over there, but my trails have not led me over to that area as of late. But I mean, I want to try it, like no doubt.
We got to pull this shit off. We got to get Ron, Ivan, Ronnie G.
Yep.
Everybody, get Whitlow.
Caden Whitlow.
Yeah.
He's in Iowa.
It's all right. He can make the track. Iowa. Tooch will bring him.
Get to Chicago.
I'm doing good. I'm happy. Did you hear when I put that in Emma's?
Yeah, I did. I laughed. Yeah.
I go, I miss Tooch. Tooch's drops were the best. Him and Joe. What was his name? Joe.
Jesus, I just saw him on
Joe. What was his name?
He was doing a Mandel.
He's a Mandel.
He was just doing a show with Mike North because somebody
is he?
Yeah, they do a show over there when somebody like an actor or actress passes away, and they go Mike North and them talk about it. And Joe was hosting. It popped up on my Twitter feed.
Jonathan Hood does the best impression of Mike North.
Yeah, he was doing it today.
It was so good today. I was cracking up laughing.
Yeah.
Hoodie. He's got that Chicago accent down. Like I could do a New York accent. Boom. These guys, the way that you guys talk with that thick Chicago accent. You don't really. I don't hear an accent with you.
I typically don't have a Chicago.
I don't hear an accent with you.
Yeah, no.
I can't even do an impression of it. But it's so funny when he does it.
But Hoodie does it.
You gotta drag out the A, you know what I mean? Everything's you know what I mean?
Yeah, like when you go to Minnesota, it's that close to that Canadian accent.
Yeah. Minnesota.
Try to act like your nose is
exactly.
Try to act like your nose is stuffed up or something, and then drag it out.
Aren't you glad you came on for this show, Ron?
Ron, you're getting all the talk tonight. Pizza talk.
Everything but football.
Everything but football. Someone's comments. Oh my God, it's gonna be so funny. So funny. They probably talk in a thick Chicago accent. The Bears. That thick accent.
Oh my God.
Is this Angelo part 2? Shane, gotta be quiet. My mom is sleeping.
Behind the barn.
I'm on wing number 57. I'll call you back in 2 minutes.
I'm in the movies.
Does he have voicemail?
Ghostbusters.
I'm in the movies.
I'm watching Ghostbusters.
Please leave your message for 203.
Don't put his number out there.
I'm not going to do it. You can't. Angelo Joseph Marino.
Hey.
Calling to check up on you, buddy. Give me a call back at your convenience. Wanted you to know last night I watched Mad Max. Fucking loved it. Give me a call back.
I watched it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's DVD Blu-ray, Coach. That was the best part. What else is Blu-ray going to be? Yeah, I'm watching the one on DVD Blu-ray.
Yeah. That was an underrated part when I was like, I bet you he's watching it on disc or something.
Yeah,
he was.
It's
No, I'm very economical.
Yeah, no.
He did upgrade too. You know what he upgraded Netflix for?
No.
The new Beverly Hills Cop that's coming out.
Oh, really?
That's all he wants to see.
He didn't want it for the NFL Christmas Day games?
No, not the Christmas games. I heard Roger Goodell had a press conference today. Was anything noteworthy in that or no?
Well, we may be losing the chain gang.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to test it out in preseason.
Technology.
We won't be losing them. They're going to be there as backups, but they're going to test out chipping the ball, distance and, down and distance and doing all of that and seeing how it goes, which, I mean, come on, it's 2024. For Christ's sake, it should be that way.
Bro, the video I sent you, the throwback, is Michigan versus South Carolina. The play before Clowney has that highlight play. They refs fucked South Carolina. Michigan's like fucking that far away from the first down.
Yeah.
They're like, first down. I'm like, what? I'm like, they totally fucked South Carolina over, Cherie. Fuck. Now I don't know. He said he bought it. Is he streaming it or is he renting?
Do you have like the original movie or you're streaming it?
VHS?
I'm watching the original movie on DVD Blu-ray.
Wow. Man.
There it is. Who would have known you cut that part? That's
you're on mute, Shane.
DVD Blu-ray.
Yeah, you and I are talking, but it's the way that he stresses the D's in DVD. No, Coach. It was I'm watching it on DVD Blu-ray. I fucking love that.
Stephen W. I honestly listen, I see the versatility there, but I just don't see an NFL player yet.
Yeah, very, very, very.
He's not a good athlete, like not twitchy. He's got some power in his punch, and they played him defensive tackle as well as the 5 technique. But listen, I'm never going to doubt a guy. I've seen guys that go in there, then they, show out. I don't see it. I don't see it on his resume. We'll see in the preseason.
One thing I didn't like is after the initial attack, you don't see any extra effort. Like there's he can once he goes ahead and he, for lack of better words, busts his nut, it's done. Like he's out. He's not gonna chase anybody down. He's not gonna. So I mean, maybe Eric Washington lights a fire under his ass and changes him, but we'll see.
I mean, he's a bigger guy. He's got some length to him, but he stands tall. He's on the ground a lot.
But yeah, it's practice squad at absolute best.
There's no way he's making 53. No. I will be like shocked.
No, there's no way. I mean,
Travis Bell showed a hell of a lot more last year, and he made the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually was hoping Travis Bell would get a shot, but he left.
This is actually a good question. Christian Solid, you guys think Caleb Williams will play all 4 preseason games, including the Hall of Fame game? Fishbane was on Hogan Johns, and he doesn't think that there's a chance in hell that the Bears even suit him up for the Hall of Fame game. And I talked about it with Ryan Cox and Cars a little bit. Cars doesn't think so either. I don't see a downside into putting him out there for a series or 2. You're a rookie. I mean, I look at the extra game as more of a benefit than a detriment. I get very leery of Patrick Mahomes can go out there, Tom Brady, those guys go out there and do this. Put him out there for a series. I always go back to head coaches. If there's a contract hold up, you're missing reps. Every day is important. You're never going to get that back. And I don't give a shit if it's in a preseason game or not. I think all of that stuff is important. Patrick Mahomes' very first preseason game, he threw 16 passes as a rookie. Next week, I think it was 15. Granted, he only had 3 preseason games that year, but I just put him out there for a series. Put him out there for 2 series. I don't see a downside to it.
I will get to Dalton's comment, but I agree with you. I think you're doing a disservice if you don't play him. If you play this game, you don't want to get anybody hurt. That's not football. That's just dumb. That's the Chicago Bears for the last 6-7 years, just completely missing out on how important scrimmages are. I would put him out there for a series, 2 at the most.
Yeah,
and
even
just get his feet wet. It's his first game. The kid is a competitor. He wants to be out there.
Yeah.
If you go out there, hand the ball off 3 times, that's fine. Whatever. I just think you got to put him out there and let him get the whole process.
I just don't want him to I don't want them to handle him with kid gloves and we gotta protect him, and I get all that, but I mean, come on, it's NFL football. Yes, it's preseason, but let him get out there and get some reps. Ivan and Ron, how do you guys feel about that?
Go ahead, Ron.
Thanks. I feel exactly the same way. He's got to get limited playing time in the first game. I don't know about all 4, but probably 3 out of the 4 or whatever. But to not take advantage of those opportunities, just to get used to the speed of the game, substitutions, the way the plays are calling in, even though it would be probably vanilla safe plays, just to not play him at all is just missing an opportunity.
Even better. Yeah. Go against some vanilla defenses, put your confidence up even more. I see nothing wrong with it at all.
I
hope
agree.
they
You
do
put
it.
your starting football team out there and you play a series or two in the opening Hall of Fame game and set the tone for your team. That's it.
Speaking of starting team, what is there even position battles up for grabs? It doesn't almost feel like the starting lineup is pretty much set. Maybe,
It's going to be interesting to see what they do at center. I know I'm on the same page with Phil. I think it's Ryan Bates, but like Courtney Cronin has mentioned a couple of times. I believe she thinks it's Shelton. I've heard a couple of other people say that, Coleman Shelton. So that one, it's going to be interesting to see. I think they're going to be signing another defensive end a little bit closer to camp. If it's going to be, this is me, and I have no problem with them giving Ngakoue, they gave him 10.5 last year. Give him half that. I have zero problem with them doing that. I would sign Calais Campbell also. I would sign both of them because Campbell can give you some reps on the inside too. I see that's the move that I would sign both of them.
That would
bring
be
them
great.
in. To me, that makes sense.
I think Campbell brings a lot of leadership.
He's invaluable to a guy like Booker, to a guy like Dexter and Pickens. Pickens looks like he's gotten in shape. I don't know if you guys went through, Ron, you said you went through the photo shoot, man. Billings looks like he put on some bad weight to me. I don't know if you guys saw that in the photo shoot. You guys want to fill some time here, and I'll bring up the picture.
I think getting Calais Campbell in would be a huge benefit, and Ngakoue. That would be a huge win. That would make me feel very comfortable going into the season. You get both of those players, and I think you're right in regards to the price point of Unique, where he's at. You're looking at $5 to $6 million. You ain't giving him 10.
But bringing in both, there's no downside to it.
None
at all. It's good for Booker. It's good for your young guys on the
interior. I think it reminds me of the Reuben Brown signing. You get that guy that's with Calais. Get that guy that's a veteran. He's got that old man strength and ability, and he's going to just pass on a wealth of knowledge to Dexter.
I can't expand that, but he's...
Well, that's the guy I see. He's the nose man. I always see, like when they listed him at 310, I was like,
no.
Because I was going through the defensive line roster after we broke down Randolph, and I was just listing these guys, and I'm like, there's no fucking way Billings is 310.
Right.
He's at least 340, like 335, 340, watching him on tape. And he's a run stopper.
He earned his extension, though, I'll tell you that.
He did. He plays hard and stuffs the run, and that's what you want, especially in this defense.
Are there any teams, like I feel like last year, wasn't it kind of common knowledge that Washington had to make some moves because they were in a bad situation financially? So I don't know that we necessarily knew that would lead to us getting sweat, right? But is there any teams that are like that now where there's some sort of predictability about who might be available for a trade or something?
Well, I mean, I think
the Chargers were.
But depending on how they go, what are they going to do with Khalil Mack? I would have,
I would love
you could
him back.
I think you could get him at a massive discount.
Doesn't Mack's big contract kick in this year? I'm sure they can move that around, but I thought that
I have no idea about that.
I'd have to look up his
cap.
I thought he had something stupid, like 30-something million or something. I thought
they did restructure him.
Well, Chicago did like 2 or 3 times before they traded him. So for 2024, he signed 1 year, $19.2 million, including 17.745 signing bonus, $19 million guaranteed. So he's probably not going anywhere. But I mean, it's Jonathan Allen is a name that they've thrown around. You got to look at what teams did in the draft, like Washington. They went after some guys on the defensive line Jonathan Allen's name has been thrown. That's an interior guy. I like Trey Hendrickson. He's, the pass rusher that you want, but that dude against I just don't see him being a guy that Flus wants across from Montez Sweat, because he's a ghost against the run, and he's a guy that you're gonna have to give new paper to. That's gonna be 30, I think, in like December.
Mhm.
That's really touch and go for me there. But let me.
Could there be a Micah Parsons trade?
I mean, you're talking multiple ones minimally for a guy like that. I don't see Dallas doing that. But
that was asked to me several times, and I honestly don't know the cap verifications and implications that would align with what he is.
Yeah,
I know he's wanting. Is he holding out or something that is causing all this?
But just some names that are going to be free agents in 2025, and I mean, so you're not trading for, like, Kenny Clark is going to be free.
Yeah.
But he's
interior guy,
29. It's not a great. Now, if you want your defensive lineman, then you're gonna the draft is gonna be flush with them. Now, I know Philly reworked Josh Sweat's deal. I don't know if that included an extension. Then you're getting down into guys like, Chase Young again,
coming off
Phil's
an injury again.
Phil's bust. Marcus Davenport. It's been fucking horrible.
He's actually with the Vikings now, right?
No, he's in Detroit.
Oh, he signed with the Lions.
Yeah, he's making the rounds in the NFC North.
He'll be with us next year.
Your guy John Comiskey will be out there.
Yeah, that dude plays hard. But again, I like him inside. I mean, he could play the end.
Yeah, it's not great names. Peyton Turner, who never worked out. He's got a club option though, so he probably not going anywhere. But things always come up. People always want, money, and that's kind of what you have to follow. And once you get into the season a little bit, you see teams that were expecting to maybe contend or, make an imprint on the season that are falling back a little bit, like Washington did last year, and then they start trading guys. So that's, you may have a team that's got a guy under contract for 1 or 2 years that they just want to get, they may want to bottom out to get into the Shedeur Sanders. Have fun with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders.
I wouldn't draft that kid to save my life. Never.
Yeah.
Dalton Spain, $4.99 on a super chat. It's funny that Justin said he knew it was over at the exit meeting, but Bears fans was all up in arms. He knew he ain't played good enough to stay.
He did.
Justin Fields.
He's like, I'm not dumb. I can read body language. He's like, I knew. And listen.
That's why he unfollowed the Bears. If everyone forgets that shit.
And it's, it is what it is. But again, it's important. The most important thing to come out of that was he wanted to end up in a specific place. And again, if Ryan Poles knew that, and if Justin Fields and his management knew that got out there, that's going to hurt his value. And that's why you got a conditional 6th round pick from Pittsburgh, because they knew that that's where he wanted to be. And Ryan Poles, hey, to his credit, and Justin shouted him out for it. Yeah, he's like, he traded me where I wanted to go. And it had to happen. I don't know about you guys. Ron, you can speak on this. I was just more relieved that it was over at that point. I was almost at a point where I didn't even give a shit what the compensation was. I'm like, please make this end. I was nauseated by it. I remember when I was grilling steaks and I said, holy shit. And I called Phil, and you were going to a party or something. You're like, a fucking course. I just leave and this goes down. And Were you the same way, Ron? Were you just ready for it to be over, or were you
I
pissed
was.
off they only got back a 6?
I was a little disappointed in that, but it seemed like the writing was on the wall. I was genuinely worried that they were going to get nothing and have to have. I mean, I think you guys were talking about on the show possibly having both quarterbacks, and some people were saying how great that would be, and I thought that would have been the absolute worst situation possible, and you couldn't just cut him for nothing. So when it was all said and done, at least they somewhat, I guess, saved face and came off looking like the good guys for putting him where he wanted to go and supposedly turning down a slightly better offer or something, whether that's true or not, right? So
I can bring up.
Apparently the Eagles came back with a better offer. Hector Zambrano, $5 super chat. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Dalton. Caleb Williams was sitting next to Tom Brady, and Brady was saying he treated preseason like it was a Super Bowl. There's no way Williams sits out.
It's not up to Caleb. It's not. I think Caleb would want to play. I totally agree with what Hector's saying there. I think if it's on Caleb's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play. But it's
exactly.
Yeah, it's not Caleb's.
Obviously, I think he should play, but I feel like it should be, if you're going to play him, give him significant time. And significant time preseason wise, in my eyes, is like a quarter and a half to a half. Right? Like,
but I mean, I think they can build up to that, because they got games.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah.
But the first game, Hall of Fame game, give him a fucking series. Let him throw a couple of passes. I don't know. It sounds very fanboyish. I understand that you want to see him and stuff like that. But I just give him a goddamn series. I don't see any downside to it. But here's just to play it. This was from today.
Okay.
Definitely, competing. I think, Russ knows that. We're competing against each other every day. Him being out there for me, the Husky getting better, us pushing each other. So
that's him talking about. I thought I had the right one up there. Let me grab that and Jesus.
He also looks a little bit more open. Watching him talk, a little more likable. So maybe a little humble pie will do him a good for his career. You never know. We always talked about Jim Plunkett. You saw, if you watched the draft, come out there, 2-time Super Bowl winner. He was considered a bust with New England. Traded to LA or Oakland at the time, and the rest is history there. So whatever it is, I just knew it wasn't going to work here. It just wasn't.
This is the right one.
Okay.
There's a lot of ups and downs, but all in all, I appreciate every relationship that I built. All my teammates, they know that. Nothing but love for the city, from the fans, and for my old teammates and coaches.
Did you feel they did everything they should have done?
Sounds just like Jason Leisure.
I'm not really gonna harp on the past. It is what it is. It's in the past. Now I'm here now. So like I said, I'm grateful to be here and grateful to be a part of the story.
When you played,
there was a lot of ups and downs.
So yeah, it was.
It's not going to harp on the past.
No, and it's smart. I mean, what if he went out there and railroaded Ryan Poles and the Bears and the situation here? What is that going to do for Justin? No good is going to come from it. It just sounds like a disgruntled, ex-girlfriend that you spurned and you went the opposite way, and now she's pissed off. And let her be pissed off. Let her start someplace. Let her start over someplace else and be the best punt returner he can be. Or, you know what I mean? I'm a dick. I'm sorry.
I guess Jason Leisure was there, says Rob Daniel.
Yeah, that was him asking the question.
Traveled to Pittsburgh for just that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I get wanting to have the soundbite, I guess, but I don't know. No good's going to come from it. I don't think Justin is media savvy enough. He's not going to be like, fuck, listen, it was a fucking disgrace what they did to me. Fuck Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham and fuck George. You're never going to get that soundbite.
Right.
But it is what it is. He's been around the Chicago media. He knows. I'm sure he recognized. He saw Jason Leisure every day for 3 years.
Right.
So
you never know unless you ask. I always say that. Sometimes these guys just
well, that's like when Carm asked Flus, do you have to have the talk with Caleb about, is he your starter? Is there going to be a competition? I texted Greg Braggs and I'm like, that was the dumbest fucking question of the presser. But it caught fire. And after the fact, Adam Hogue was talking about it, and I thought he actually brought up a brilliant point. It's not that it's you want to see how Flus answers it. And I was really proud of Flus the way he's like, yeah, there's no conversation. He's the starter. Boom. That's it.
That's it. The
There's
truth.
There's no fucking around. There's no we're gonna bring in Mike Glennon and do all this shit, and we're gonna give Andy Dalton this money, and we have Nick Foles and all of this nonsense. No, there's no conversation. Caleb's the starter. And that's one more thing too. And you guys can speak on this. I'm excited to see what Tyson Bagent does with playing time in the preseason. I really am.
Quarterback development, and I'm not just talking about the starter. I mean, as a whole, we haven't had it. You know what I mean? We've gotten lucky with backups. Obviously, Chicago loves their backup quarterbacks, but as pure quarterback development with this franchise, I'm excited as well, Shane. Like, I like the way Tyson Bagent played, and I hope he progresses.
I totally agree. I don't think obviously Brett Rippon will be around for the preseason, but listen to me, Austin Reed is going to get a fucking spot on my practice squad. That's me. I'm always keeping another guy down there for that reason. To me, it just makes sense.
Well, aren't they instituting the 3 quarterback rule this year?
Yeah, I think
we
so.
check into that? So the emergency quarterback won't count. So of course you have to keep that. But to Ivan's point, this is again the first time in a lifetime that we're seeing a first round, first overall quarterback in Chicago.
Yep.
That has not happened. And a backup quarterback that's a younger developmental talent.
That's got
who also has a chip on his shoulder and is a competitive motherfucker, with an elite quarterback who's a competitive motherfucker, and somebody they did sign a young kid from
Austin Reed, Western
pass happy school in Austin Reed that can showcase development that you put there. And I don't know what Brett Rippon brings to the table. I'm not going to pretend I do.
He just knows the offense.
So yeah. So I would let those two battle it out and see. But if there's like a heartbeat in the young kid, then you keep that kid on the practice squad and dress him every week as the emergency quarterback. And Tyson's your number 2. And the Bears did that last year. You got to give the GM credit last year. Who was the Walker? Walker was here.
Oh, yeah.
It was very clear who was the better quarterback. Everybody who was affiliated with TTNL was like, Bagent looks 20 times better than PJ Walker. And
I was excited about the signing.
Yeah,
I was excited about the signing, but I was very happy when
like that.
Yeah, during the draft. I mean,
that's another tip or a feather in Pole's hat.
Yeah.
He said, nope, we're keeping Bagent and we're letting the guy that we signed go to be the backup. We're going to go there. And then the rest.
The guy that they gave guaranteed money to.
Right.
Yeah. So that
put football first.
Yep.
Again, put your money where your mouth is. Put football first. You hear Big Steve say that too. The Bears have been doing that under Poles with Claypool, with PJ Walker, and Tyson Bagent being the number 2. Moving on from Justin Fields, recognizing the talent of Caleb Williams, putting a big priority on getting. Listen, I'll just keep it 100 with you. If you watch all these wide receivers speak on the mic and talk about themselves or football, if they were just talking, Roma Dunze is like 60 miles ahead of all of them in his ability to articulate, speak, and be a presence there. There's just something different. Those things have always mattered to me as a coach too. Just seeing how you handle yourself, carry yourself. Do you love the game? Or are you just getting over on your talent? Are you an arrogant prick? How is that going to mesh? They needed to get Roma Dunze. Caleb prayed for Roma Dunze.
Yeah. Dan Weeder brought up a great point, and he's been around the Bears obviously for a long time and has connections all over within the NFL. And he said, when you look at the top 3 dogs at wide receiver for the Bears in DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Roma Dunze, none of them are the guy that if Caleb is struggling or going through, a rookie lull, or that, a guy like Stephon Diggs is going to rip his helmet off and throw it on the sidelines and get up in Caleb's face and tell me, you need to get me the ball. Or even Malik Neighbors, just, he keeps on saying more and more shit. It's like, dude, just shut up. And that I actually thought of you, Phil, because they were playing with me being here in New York, they're playing an interview with him. The Giant, did you see the Giants throwback uniform?
Awful.
They're horrific.
They look like the fucking
red and brown.
Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah,
Canadians,
from the 40s. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
And they asked him, they're like, what do you think of this? And he's like, yeah, it's going to be really hard to look good in this. It's going to be really hard to swag it out. And I'm like, that's, just
trade him. Just trade him already.
Well, if you're going to trade him, I'll take him. I'll take him off your hands. But yeah, it's just, things like that. But he was giving praise to DJ, Keenan, and Roma Dunze, that they're probably the most level-headed wide receivers that aren't going to go absolutely apeshit if they're not getting like 12 to 14
Brandon
balls
Marshall
every game. Yeah, all those guys
throw
very
a whole
volatile
kink in your whole fucking system.
But I think that goes all the way down to they can be ultimate competitors, but they don't. Martellus Bennett almost breaking Kyle Fuller's neck, when he was a rookie in training camp. You want a guy to push the envelope a little bit, but you just don't want him to push through the entire fucking wall and burn the house down either. And that's
right.
I think that the Bears have been cognizant of that. And who was it? Somebody else was talking that the KC model, when they brought in Mahomes, they're like, no, we're going to throw we're going to go do an overabundance of things for Patrick Mahomes. Just because you have Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, we're going to throw even more there. And that in and of itself is un-Chicago Bear like. It's like, oh fuck, we got Jay Cutler. All right, that fixes the offense for the next 12 years.
Right.
We're good there.
We'll sign Rasheed Davis.
We'll draft Johnny Knox in round 5. Yeah. Right. And it's just
Johnny Knox in round 5.
We have a great defense already, and Gaines Adams died. We're going to throw $92 million to Julius Peppers, which yes, you're going to make that move. Again, I get it, but you gotta distribute the wealth a little more evenly, and this is what you're starting to see.
I also like the fact that they've made a priority on hometown guys that understand or have been Bears fans. There's been, me and Shane have talked about this as well for years. Like, if they're close, I want to take the guy that understands the culture and the fan and is going to play that much harder. Chris Zorich talked about his experience on this network several times, like getting there and wanting to lay his life down for the city and the team, and then turning and looking, and some of his teammates could give a fuck. They can't wait to go to the nightclub that after the game. And he's like, wait, what? This is about the, when you're able to tap into that, if it, the two players are close, go with the guy that loves the Bears or is a fan. I like that. Roma Dunze was a Bears fan. Did you see his quote in his fucking senior yearbook? Did you see what his quote was?
No.
Bear down was his senior quote.
Nice.
And he loved Devin Hester. Obviously.
Put him in his top 10 wide receivers all time.
I don't know if
that's a little bit crazy, but we'll let him run. We'll let him run with it.
He's not scouting; he's playing. So we'll give him that. But
I believe he's shitting all over Bobby Wade like that. But you know,
from what school? From what school was Bobby Wade?
Arizona.
I know. That's right. He was an Arizona Wildcat that
Do you remember-
somehow has the rights to bear down.
Do you remember that they drafted 2 wide receivers that year? Do you remember the other one?
That year, okay. Bobby Wade, John Capel.
No.
Bobby
From
Wade. What school?
Missouri.
Justin Gage.
Yep.
Justin Gage.
Yep.
Number 12.
Number 12.
Yeah.
I love Justin
Get it?
Gage.
Do you get it? Why he was number 12?
12 gauge.
Yeah, 12 gauge.
I never even put that together. I never did. 12 gauge. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bears draft wide receiver drafts.
TTNL's very own Matthew Karstensen, the
Was it-
alumnus of Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah. He went there with the ultimate backup quarterback.
Chase Daniel. Oh my God. Flip flopped. Now he's all over the Caleb thing. But trying to think of other obscure. Mark Bradley, Oklahoma. What was his name?
Mark Bradley's knee was put together with, bubble gum.
Who was the other receiver from Oklahoma that we took? He had
that was the Larry Mayer game for me. Joaquin Iglesias. They drafted him in round 3.
Joaquin Iglesias.
He had a touchdown in the preseason game in Buffalo. That was Jay Cutler's first game for Chicago.
Iglesias.
Yeah, he had a touchdown that game. Right, probably if you go back and find that touchdown, you can see me in the stands because I was right there by the touchdown.
Wow.
And
Joaquin Iglesias told you.
If you ever want to vomit, just go back and look at the Bears drafting after they made the Super Bowl. They started it off great with Greg Olson. That was the first pick after we made the Super Bowl. And then it was then you wonder why the Bears were so wildly inconsistent. I mean, not only were they picking players that weren't good, they were putting premium assets into players that didn't even make any team in the NFL.
I know.
Dan Bazine, second rounder, didn't play in the NFL. Joaquin Iglesias played 1 snap for the Minnesota Vikings on special teams in the NFL. 3rd round draft pick.
Terrible.
The Jaron Gilbert, 5 games in the NFL, 3rd rounder
out of a pool.
Mm-hmm. Right into the NFL.
5 games in the NFL. Michael Okwo was going to be do you remember that year? Lance Briggs and Bernard Berrien were both free agents. They drafted Michael Okwo out of the University of Stanford to be the Lance Briggs replacement. 3rd round draft pick. Didn't make the Bears. Didn't make them. 3rd rounder. Never played in the NFL. All these guys that I'm giving you these names, 2nd and 3rd rounders, didn't play. Yeah, 5 games. 1 snap. Special team snap. It was reckless. Garrett Wolf. Lovie Smith banged
Garrett
the table.
Wolf. That's right.
Lovie Smith banged the table for Garrett Wolf. We need to have him. Bears went and got him, and they didn't play him.
Garrett Wolf was all of what, 5'4"?
Yeah, it's tiny.
He was small.
Think about
short
this.
guys
Think
hope.
about this. The Bears drafted Curtis Enos, and then they drafted Cedric Benson. Curtis Enos was in 1998.
Mhm.
Cedric Benson was in 2005. So within a 7-year span, the Bears drafted 2 running backs in the top 5, and neither one of them started as rookies. Cedric Benson or Curtis Enos held out, and actually, I got to give Curtis Enos a little bit of credit. He was playing very well until he hurt his knee. I think it might have been against. Was it against the Rams?
Chiefs or Dolphins?
Might have been against the Rams, I think.
Wasn't that the goal line? He like jumped and.
But then he dropped all that weight. He was number 39 as a rookie. Then he came back to number 44.
Christian Colt.
Yeah, he dropped like 30 pounds.
As his agent, remember that? The
Yeah.
Christian Colt.
The Bears went out in 2004 and signed Thomas Jones as a free agent. And then they had like 975 yards his first year in Chicago on a horrible team. And then they're like, fuck it. We're going to draft Cedric Benson in the top 5.
Dumbest thing.
Dude held out. And I don't even know if you remember. And I hate to talk ill about the guy now because he had an unfortunate end to his life that was horrible. But he held out for almost all of training camp. And like the 4th game, they signed him the day of like the last preseason game. He was standing on the sideline during the preseason game, and he fucking left the fucking game in like midway through the 3rd or 4th quarter. Just fucking left. It's like, what? What are you doing during the draft evaluation process that you don't see things like that?
Never was a fan of that pick.
Chris Williams, medically red flagged by tons.
I
teams.
I actually got a Chris Williams autograph.
Yeah.
With he was at the Chicago Rush Arena football game with Robbie Gold. I wanted Robbie's autograph, but he was there with them, so I got it too.
He got hurt in his first practice of training camp.
I love
back surgery.
This guy's talking about Bobby Ingram. Bobby Ingram, I loved.
That was 96 draft.
He was a great slot receiver for us.
Big fan. He had those 2 years in a row where it was like literally 997 yards, I think.
Just short of 1,000 twice.
Yeah.
I'm not drunk or high. I'm just tired, Matt. I'm just keeping it on. I'd be the first to tell you. I'm just tired. Long day at work.
Rashaan Salam was the fumbler.
Rashaan Salam.
That is the mutter.
Yeah.
No, he kept the mutter.
Oh,
kept the motherfucker.
Kept him in the IFL. The Italian Football League. I was Rashaan Salam, 20 youngest running back in NFL history to ever rush for 1,000 yards at the time. He was 20 years old.
We could have took a quarterback that year. We took Benson.
Yeah.
By the name of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. But again, why didn't they do it? Because
Rex was coming off an injury
that they drafted in 2003. He was injured. 2004, he got injured again.
They had no forethought, no understanding. They were the worst run. I don't care what anybody says.
Yep.
They had some good things. They made some, the Charles Tillman pick is great pick. But every GM has some great picks.
I'll tell you
didn't put a priority on the quarterback
picks that I love, and I'm just being honest.
John Bostic was a terrible pick.
And do you remember John Bostic's first ever game as a Bear in the preseason against the Carolina Panthers? 57-yard interception return for a touchdown. Then you're like, there's the fucking replacement for Urlacher, Ray from Jump Street. That was a Phil Emery, yeah.
Oh, God, I had hope for Harden from Oregon State.
3rd rounder, never played in the NFL.
Never played
a regular season snap. Yep. But again, so that's a second and 3 or 4 3rd rounders.
Never played.
Not bounced around in the NFL. Never fucking played.
Meanwhile, they cut a guy like fucking Chris Draft, and then he goes somewhere else. and plays for 8 years. He went to Carolina or Atlanta.
Yeah.
Played for like 8 years. They did that same thing with the guy that I loved. Was it Mario Addison? I'm like, this guy's got pass rush ability. They caught him.
He bounced around all over the place. But again, that just shows you that at least they saw something and he got caught up in a numbers game or whatever,
Yeah.
but he had a life in the NFL. These guys didn't play.
Craig Stelz from LSU.
4th rounder. Yeah.
Chris Johnson, safety from Florida.
That was the year. That might have been 2000.
The everlasting gob-stopping loop of safeties.
Do you remember the year? It might have been like 2005. They drafted everybody from Florida.
Yeah.
Tron Lefevre, defensive tackle. Yeah.
How many snaps did he have?
But who was the other defensive
Tron
tackle?
Lefevre, I
One
remember.
defensive tackle
Ian.
Yeah. What the fuck was his name?
Ian.
Somebody will have it.
Scott.
Ian Scott. Yep.
Ian
but there was
Scott.
Ian Scott, Tron Lefevre. That might have been the year they took John Capel. In like the 7th round. But there was more.
Major Wright.
3rd rounder. Yeah. But he played.
I think that
he ruined Brian Urlacher's career. You remember that in Minnesota?
God, yeah.
Last snap of the season, they threw a Hail Mary to the end zone.
Todd Johnson.
Todd Johnson, yeah. Yeah.
Todd Johnson.
Blew up Urlacher's knee in Minnesota. Last snap of the year.
Oh my God. The everlasting.
No, we aren't depressing, Adam. The Bears have been. That's when you look back, it's like, oh, this is why the Bears have been bad, because they can't fucking draft. This is where you get your cheap talent that you build your foundation with. The Bears have always been a team all right, we're gonna build a house, and they're like, fuck it, let's go buy the hot tub. You know what I mean? Fucking hot tub's their first purchase. Because that makes fucking sense. You know what I mean? Crazy.
This is just repressed trauma that we've all suffered, and that we're all, just kind of retouching on it. And it sucks, man. Like it really is, but it's not us. It really isn't us. It's what we all have suffered as Bears fans. It really is.
Do you think I love knowing all of these ridiculous, and horrific players over the years from the Bears? But it's been my life, man. Yeah, Jesus. Shea
Chris
McClellan.
Leak was undrafted.
Yeah, UDFA. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so fucking pissed with Shea McClellan.
I could take you back to 2000 or 1998 was the Curtis Enos.
Yeah.
That's when we had Enos, Tony Parrish in the second, Olin Kreutz.
Yep. Alonzo
Mays, Chris Draft right there.
So Alonzo Mays,
Pat Manley
missed his flight to Chicago for rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
And he showed up like the next day late. And I always remember, I think I brought it up on one of the Olin shows. They interviewed him when he got to Hallis Hall late. And they asked him what the deal was. And the only thing he said, he's like, yo, sometimes it just ain't your day. That's all he fucking said. He just walked off.
So 98 was the Curtis Enos, Olin Kreutz, Hall of Fame, Chris Draft, Pat Manley.
Look at
Chad Overhouse. Now look at 99.
99 you love, but that
Abe McNown is your first pick.
Yeah, could have been Champ
number
Bailey or
12.
Dante Culpepper.
12th pick. We traded back, correct?
But that's how you got Roosevelt Holdman.
This is where we go now. Russell Davis is your second round pick.
Yep, North Carolina
in that draft. Rex Tucker, we've talked about a lot with Olin Kreutz. He was the 3rd round pick, and we have 3 3rd round picks. Rex Tucker, Dwayne Bates.
Yep.
And Marty Booker in the
it.
3rd round. Love Marty Booker.
Oh, man.
I was teaching Tate about Marty Booker.
You sent me that clip, Phil, and still to this day, it pisses me off. Like, you brought back all the memory. They called that pass incomplete.
How could they call that incomplete?
Horrible. Only dude that I ever knew that he would wear 3XL gloves and his hands were so fucking big he couldn't Velcro them.
That's
So if
one of the greatest catches
you look at Marty Booker, whenever he's playing, you see the straps from his gloves are always open.
Yeah,
because his fingers were fucking ridiculous, man.
In the 4th round that year, the Bears select Warwick Holman, Roosevelt Colvin.
Yeah.
In the 5th round, they check Jerry Wisney, Kari Samuel, my buddy.
Wisney was from Notre Dame, I believe, right?
Yeah, Notre Dame. Jerry Azuma in the 5th round. Then they get Rashad Cook out of USC, the safety, defensive back. And then 7th round, Salucio Sanford. Never played a down.
Yeah.
Never played.
So John Capel
Jim Finn. Remember Jim Finn was in the audience during the draft and came up.
Yeah.
So that
I was looking back. 2001 was John Capel.
Okay, so 2000 is the Urlacher, Mike Brown, Des White, Dustin Lyman in the 3rd.
Yeah. The
Reggie
Bears drafted
Austin.
a tight end in round 3 that couldn't stay healthy in college at Wake Forest. Dustin Lyman was a tight end, and they made him a fucking linebacker.
I remember. Frank Murphy. Remember him out of Kansas State?
Yeah.
Fast Frank. Paul Ettinger was a 6th round pick. James Cotton out of Iowa State. Mike Green, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
That was the 2000 draft. So you got a Hall of Famer there. 2001, David Terrell, Anthony Thomas.
Good rookie years, and then
Mike Gandy in the 3rd round.
That
was a good pick. He ended up starting for years in Arizona. Karan Riley, Bernard Robertson. Remember him from Tulane?
That dude was
and then Johnny Capel. So that's 2001. 2002 was the Mark Colombo draft.
Good tackle, and then until he blew his knee out.
Then Roosevelt Williams in the 2nd round.
Don't you remember him? Roe
3rd
Weezy.
round. Roe Weezy.
Roe Weezy. Yeah, 3rd rounder. That was the Alex Brown draft, I believe, right? Was
Terrence Metcalf is in the 3rd with Roosevelt Williams. In the 4th round, pick 104, defensive end Alex Brown out of Florida. He finished with 45.5 sacks. Bobby Gray.
Yeah, hard hitter, special teamer.
Brian Knight in the 5th round. Adrian Peterson. Jamin Elliott out of Delaware. And then Brian Fletcher never made it, tight end.
But he didn't make it in Chicago. He went someplace and he made some plays. I don't know.
Really? Yeah.
The Rams, maybe? Yeah, I remember him having a touchdown against
54
Chicago.
receptions in his career, so he must have made it somewhere.
But
just wasn't with the Bears.
The next one is 2003 would be the Florida draft. So I believe
This
if you
is
look
Mike
at
Haynes.
you look at God.
Mike Haynes.
They were at 4
Rex
that year.
Grossman.
They traded down for 2 first-rounders with the Jets.
Yep. I forgot that Rex Grossman was picked number 22.
Yeah.
Haynes was picked 14.
Rex was at a draft party in Chicago at his sister's house when he got drafted. He just fucking hopped in a car and drove to Hall. Yeah.
Charles Tillman in the 2nd round.
Home run.
Lance Briggs in the 3rd round. Then Todd Johnson and Ian Scott. So here's the Florida. Then Bobby Wade, Justin Gage, Tron LeFevre.
Yeah.
Joe Odom, Brock Forsey,
100-yard game versus the Arizona Cardinals. Brock Forsey.
Brian Anderson, guard out of Pittsburgh.
No, Brian Anderson was a defensive end, wasn't he?
No, Brian Anderson.
Who was
guard? Pittsburgh. Played 4 games and was cut.
Who is the guy that I'm thinking of okay. It's got to be in. You're coming up. Claude Harriott was from Pittsburgh, I believe.
Oh my God, yes.
They drafted late.
Tommy Harris is
Craig
the first
Krenzel draft
in 2004. Tommy Harris, Tank Johnson, Bernard Berrien, Nathan Vasher, Leon Joe.
He played some decent special teams for him. Yeah, fast.
Claude Harriet never played. Craig Krenzel
started
drafted in the 5th round, 148. And Alfonso Marshall out of Miami, defensive back, never played. 2005, Cedric Benson draft. First pick, 4th overall. 39th pick in the 2nd round, Mark Bradley. We had no 3rd round pick. 4th round, we take Kyle Orton. 5th round is Iris Curry. Never played. Chris Harris, safety, and Rod Wilson. Good special teams player, Rod Wilson was.
I think, didn't we trade our 3rd rounder? Yeah, we did. We traded our 3rd rounder that year to Carolina for Ricky Manning Jr.
Oh, so that's why we didn't have one.
Yeah.
We must have traded our 1st round pick because the next year we don't have one. What was our 1st round traded for?
We traded down. We traded down with Buffalo. Buffalo traded up for a defensive tackle or something like that from Virginia Tech, and that was when we took Daniel Manning.
There you
go.
go.
Traded out of the 1st round. I remember being pissed because I wanted, and this is documented within my family, and I'm not blowing any bullshit here. I wanted one player in the fucking draft, and it was Devin Hester. I'm like, I don't care how they fucking get him. Bears got to come away with Devin Hester. Oh yeah, yep.
Well, you got him because
they
Daniel Manning.
They took Manning, and I was pissed because I'm like, fuck, they're not going to take Hester now, and then they did.
Out of Abilene Christian.
Yeah, that's Lovey.
And then Devin Hester, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
3rd round is Dusty Dvorak. Shane got a jersey.
Couldn't stay healthy.
Jamar Williams, linebacker. Mark Anderson went in the 5th round.
Jamar started a couple of games.
J.D. Runnels.
He was the one that had the skin.
Yeah, he had, what's the name of that disease?
But
then Tyler Reed.
If you go back and look at all Devin Hester's returns his rookie year, you see like J.D. Runnels always in street clothes on the sideline being like, I don't even know what's going on. This is fucking craziest shit I've ever seen. Go back and watch some of the highlights. I guarantee you'll see J.D. Runnels doing that on the sideline.
Here's Shane's favorite draft right here.
But Phil, look at all of these. So, yeah, 2007, Greg Olson, fantastic pick at 31 overall. Dan Bazine, Garrett Wolf, Michael Okwo, Beekman stayed around for a little while. Kevin Payne stayed around for a little while. Corey Graham, Tremaine McBride, he actually played some. His crowning achievement in the NFL is actually, I won't even get into that. It's Lisa Lampanelli showed up at a Chicago Bears hotel when they were on the road one night and had sex with Tremaine McBride, but that's a whole different show. But anyways, true story, by the way. That is not bullshit. 2008, Chris Williams, Matt Forte, obviously great pick. Earl Bennett, he had his moments. Marcus Harrison never lived up. Craig Stelz, Zach Bowman started for you. Kellen Davis, I fall down. Irvin Baldwin, I forgot about that dude.
Irvin Baldwin.
I do not remember Chester Adams at all. Joey LaRock, I remember his long hair. Kirk Barton retired in training camp as a rookie.
Marcus Monk, everyone was high on him. He's so big. He's 6'6".
Yeah. Jerron Gilbert, Joaquin Iglesias, Henry Melton, DJ Moore
was
Johnny
good.
Knox, Marcus Freeman,
coach at Ohio State. Never played. Al Alfalava.
Yeah,
there he is.
Lance Lewis. Do you remember when he played for the Bears and got hurt?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think where did he sign in? Like Arizona?
He went to Arizona.
Derek Kinder.
I don't remember Derek Kinder at all.
2010 Major Wright, Corey Wooten, Josh Moore, Dan Lefevre, Jamarcus Webb. You gave up a 7th rounder in the the supplemental draft for Harvey Unga, the running back from BYU.
That's right, Harvey Unga.
I'll take my L here. I can remember being excited when Gabe Karimi fell to the Bears in 2011.
Big Gabe.
Stephen Paya.
I thought Paya was going to be a big-time player.
Lived up. No, Nathan Enderle. James Thomas, another one I don't remember at all.
JT Thomas.
Man, we get into some more here. Shea McClellan was a whiff. Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Harden, Evan Rodriguez. You remember the hype around him?
Yeah.
Isaiah Fry.
Whatever.
Greg McCoy, Kyle Long, John Bostic, and Kasim Green, Jordan Mills, Cornelius Washington. I remember being excited about him.
Oh my God, I loved Cornelius Washington.
Yep.
Marcus Wilson was someone I thought was going to be. He
had a big
moment.
touchdown in Kansas City. Touchdown from Jay Cutler. I remember he had a couple good games, but I don't want to go to. But yeah, Jesus Christ! Now you're in the Phil Emery years.
But you get the point here.
Yeah,
we went
Kyle
back.
Ego Ferguson and Will Sutton.
We got the point a while ago.
Jesus,
he started way back.
But then you wonder. But this paints the picture of why you've been one and done, one good year, and then because you have no consistency. The drafting was horrific, and that is where it all starts. It's where it all starts.
It sucks when you look at the Bears' history of drafting. They're not good. Bears, what we're going to tell you is the Bears practice today. OTAs, air on air. It's really nothing more to tell you. I could say Booker looks like he's put on some weight and it looks bulked up. I could tell you that, but until they get the pads on, it's going to be very difficult to give you any kind of understanding or any semblance of what it is unless we're there at practice. Then I'd be able to give you some nuggets. But imagine if they allowed my trained eye to go there and I would have every fucking nugget for you. Like, I have to get to camp at least once to show, like, this is what I see. And I guarantee that kind of stuff, a lot of these guys just don't see it. And it's unfortunate. The Bears they've played a role of politics. So they protected a lot of those names, made teams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't do anything for the team. Whereas some of these undrafteds, we always talked about Seattle with Pete Carroll. He put a priority on players loving the game of football, showing up in practice. Bill Parcells put a priority on that. What do you hear Ryan Poles saying? Do they love the game? Dude, this fucking guy. See, that's the difference with Caleb Williams. He's got paid. He's got a fucking beautiful penthouse apartment. His goal is to be the greatest that ever lived. He's talking about taking over for number 12. I'm sorry. That's what I want at my quarterback. I don't want, my visor looks dope. I got my towel hanging out perfect.
So, you go back to training camp, and if you remember last year, Jaquan Brisker and all of those guys were saying, they were talking a bunch of shit to the offense, and the offense just sat there and took it. They wouldn't respond, and they're like, we're trying our best to get them to respond. And I'll be honest, who does that all start with? That all starts with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Because that's not who Justin is not going to be a guy that's going to clap back. And listen, I'm not saying that you need to be loud and boisterous all the time, but I've seen enough of Caleb Williams. If Jaquan Brisker comes up and says something to him in the middle of a training camp practice to light his ass up, Caleb's going to have something to say right back to him immediately. and then go out and make a fucking play and then say something right back to Jaquan and tell him to shut the fuck up. But that's what raises the
And I
level
think
of
Caleb will say it with like a smile on his face.
But I don't think he's not afraid to talk some shit.
No,
Phil, you know how it
agree.
is, man. When you're out there in the dog days of training camp and it's 98 degrees and you're worn out a little bit. But those are the things that when you want to talk about callousing, it's not just hitting.
Yeah.
Those are the things that calluses your entire team, because then you know what? Then you look at number 18 and you're like, oh, that dude. Yeah, I'm going to climb in a foxhole with that dude. He's going to get up no matter fucking what, and he's going to face the guy, and he's going to go out and make a fucking play, and he's going to let him know about it. And then we're going to regroup and get back at it. You can't sit there. You know how it is, man. Everybody's got that one friend that talks a big fucking game. I'll kick this dude's ass or whatever. Back when you're in college, you're at a bar. Oh, you don't want to fucking say nothing to me. And then the rubber meets the fucking road, and the guy's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's fuck. I got to go home. That guy.
Yeah.
That shit permeates through a team. Teammates see that shit. That is I think if we look back and if we're being honest with our entire assessment of this team, that was a major, major, major red flag. That when you have defenders trying to light the fire under the ass of the offense just to react. Yeah, we want them to tell us to shut the fuck up. Go make a play. None of them did. None of them said anything.
I agree with you. And Caleb's the type of guy, I see somebody wrote something. Where was it? Brisker. Yeah. He'll be able to do like, okay, motherfucker, you're going to talk shit. All right, this is what he'll be in the huddle. I'm going to pump to you and I'm going to you. So,
touchdown. Jaquan, you going to lay down and ask for the trainer again like you do every fucking game? Yeah, I'll see you in 40 seconds. That's the shit that I'd say. Yeah.
Caleb will pump fake and throw deep on a dime. I mean, I never have saw in my whole time watching Mr. Justin Fields, there was not one pump fake, not one. And I just go through it every rep. You can't find
his
one.
Pump fake was all with his shoulder. He would just move it a little bit like that. It was never, he'd never sell it. Yeah.
And then now I'm ripping it. It's just not there. But you're right. There's like a shoulder fake or whatever. But I think all of these guys that were sitting on a fence, not like Ron, but are still there, they're going to be like waiting like pigeon crumbs to try to find flaws in Caleb. And that's unfortunate. And
let him sit there.
It's just sad that you're going to do that, because I just think you're going to be at the point where you're getting something that you've never had before. And that's a championship style quarterback. Travis is saying his biggest red flag was when Leno or someone got pissed at another of our line for standing up. No, that was actually, what was his name? That wasn't Leno.
Yeah, that wasn't Leno. It was he got pissed at Jenkins.
Jenkins was fighting in Minnesota. He was getting Justin's back.
Yeah.
Who the hell was it? It was a guy.
It was the dude from the Jets.
What the fuck's his name?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Affetti.
Affetti. Not from the Jets. Yeah, from the Seahawks. Yeah, Jermaine Affetti.
Jermaine Affetti. That was Affetti that did that. Thank you, Rob. Rob's on a roll.
Yep.
Rob's on a roll.
Oh, well.
Anyway.
Perfect place to wrap it up, I
yes.
think. Fuck out of here. And
is Affetti still playing? Is he still in the league? I know they thought so highly of him somewhere. Like, we're going to take this.
Him in the third round this year.
Anyway.
I think he's got more talent. I hope he plays with a little bit more passion than Affetti does. And I think he does. On tape, he does. But
Who?
I have my questions.
Our guy from Yale?
Yeah.
You talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No,
The Browns have him. I guess the Browns signed Fetty.
So right now at this point, just before we wrap it up and let's go
Yeah.
around.
What?
Would you have made the Amagaji pick in round 3? I would not have.
The Amagaji pick? I got to remember who was on the board at that time.
Let me go. I can go look.
So
I remember I wanted a D end at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I was all for Mo Kamara. We never got my guy, Mo. Watch what Mo does in the NFL. He's going to make me upset. I think the Dolphins got him. But they ended up coming back and getting Booker. So
yeah, Amagaji went 75. The very next pick was Jonah Ellis. I'm just reading off the names that went right after. DJ Glaze, Kalen Bullock, Matt Gonclaves, Jermaine Burton, Christian Haynes very likely would have been my pick.
Haynes I liked a lot at guard.
Well, they wouldn't have drafted another one, but Roman Wilson, Blake Corum, Zach Zinter, Marshawn Lloyd, Tyke Smith, Jalen McMillan, Adisa Isaac was another name. I know Ivan wasn't as big on him as I was. Jalix Hunt went to Philly, Dwayne Carter, Peyton Wilson, Cam Kitchens, and Luke McCaffrey. But yeah, Haynes would have been I had Haynes in my top 50 players.
Yeah, he was in my top 50. So Haynes would have been my pick. But I know someone at Yale that was
no,
saying,
I get it.
Listen, this fucking kid's ceiling is going to be astronomical. If he didn't get hurt, they'd be talking about him in the second round easy. That's how high they believe he is. Now, I could just go on that. There's things he's got to work on. We'll see. But
I'm just
to
being
your
honest.
point, Haynes.
I'm just being honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to rewrite my history there. No. We knew Bears liked him.
Yeah,
you had said it several times. He went on a 30 visit.
Yeah,
and we'll see. I mean, he's got to show. He's got the fucking longest arms in the whole draft.
I thought for the most part, if they weren't going to go after a offensive lineman with that second pick, I thought they were going to just kind of focus on maybe developing, Braxton Jones and him being the guy. But I never thought they were going to go ahead and actually try to draft a left tackle and see if he could compete with Braxton Jones.
They love this kid from Yale, is what I was told. So,
well, I mean, clearly
they took him in the third. Braxton was a 5th round. They believe this kid is able to develop to start. So let's see. He's not playing inside. I'll tell you that, Creighton. He is strictly a left tackle. Maybe they try to put him as a swing. Larry Borum is nervous now. He was nervous last year.
Just based on because he got that bump in pay.
Oh yeah,
that performance base because he played.
Yeah,
he played enough snaps and it bumps his salary up to $3 million. He's a goner.
So he's gone then. So we'll see. But we will keep you locked in. We got more free agent tape to get into. Theo Bennett. How do we say his name? Benedette.
He's going to stick somehow.
We're going to be watching him this weekend. And Shane and I will reschedule the patron watch party of Justin Fields.
No,
Caleb Williams, for God's sake. Fuck is going on here, Jack?
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
I know I will.
The laugh.
Angelo must have been sleeping.
I know I will. Shane, Shane didn't give me the script.
Guys, you gotta call me earlier.
He didn't give
me. Get up. I gotta get up and make the donut. I gotta go get the donuts. I gotta get my coffee in the morning. My day is very full. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some.
Oh, I thought it was an Angelo drop. I was trying to see. It left.
Why? Well, everybody thinks you're high.
I'm not high at all. I'm tired as hell to be. I would tell you, perfectly honest. I have a red eye here on my left because I was out in the backyard. There was all this pollen. Are you guys heavy on pollen up there?
Oh yeah.
It's like all over our deck, like a yellow glow. I was like sweeping it off.
We're heavy on cicadas right now.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you have them where you're at?
Yeah, Illinois, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Well, I didn't know if it's like
Cars sent me a
invading into the
picture
city.
out his front yard, and like he's got this one tree, and it's just like
Is that his picture with all those on the tree?
all around the tree. Yeah. it's
Holy shit. That was crazy.
You guys had a bunch of wind last night too, right?
No,
You
it
had
ran.
some-
Yeah.
You had some like broken branches and shit. Cars did at his house.
Okay, there's like 3 different families of cicadas that have come out at the same time.
But they're all. It shows that they're harmless as hell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just eat shit, right? They eat the leaves and make noise. Do you got them in Long Island, Ron?
No, we've had them before, but we don't have the outbreak of the different broods. I think they're called. Like in Chicago.
Are you by the beach?
I'm on the North Shore, yeah, like of Lloyd Harbor. So I asked about Stamford because that's like right. That would be directly across the water from me.
You're on the Long Island Sound then, on the back side, the harbor side.
Yeah.
So you would take that ferry, it would drive you right into Bridgeport, probably.
You're gonna see me there.
Bridgeport would be quicker for you. Then you get your car and drive to New Haven. My cousin lives in Belmore, so she'll drive over on the ferry too to avoid all the traffic. And then that's what you
I
do.
think Belmore is south, pretty south from where I am.
Yeah, she's by the other side, Long Beach, that side.
The
My other
south
cousin,
shore,
Valley
the
Stream,
access.
Valley Stream, Valley Stream, and then my other cousin lives in Long Beach. They got great bagels in Long Island. Do you get those, Ron? At least
I'm known to enjoy a bagel once in a while. Real big on like bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches on a bagel.
Oh yeah,
Salt, pepper, ketchup, you know.
Little fucking sesame toasted with egg and cheese.
There you go.
Bacon.
Real healthy way to start the day.
Do we have the I don't give a fuck clip?
I was looking for it and I couldn't find it.
I gotta bring Ron back. Ron's been quiet in there. Bullets is like, let me get in there. I could talk.
Bullet said my wall was boring. It's a window bullet.
Bullets is complaining about his wall.
Yeah, in the chat.
Poor Ron can't get a break. I'm not high. I wish I was. I get high.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network. Breaking news.
For the 400th time, Phil's not high.
Maron.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
The classic Claudio drop. I haven't heard or seen that drop in a long time.
Phil, could you hear me? This is your dad speaking. Can you hear